All right, Brian's pulling up.
Yeah, you're gonna be in your seat. I go sit in that motherfucker before he does musical chairs.
That it looks like that. My race car.
Go get your chair.
Okay.
I don't want to get a technicality.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, we're live, Mike.
I thought you were when we were pulling up.
Oh.
He was right behind you. I forgot he dumped the Mercedes for the. I just saw a Mercedes emblem.
Yeah.
It's gotta be Brian. I gotta get back in.
Well, the joke's on you because I was giving you that seat today anyway.
Oh, Brian, quit being fucking Richie Rich. Quit.
I was like, quick, get in that seat.
Hurry up.
He even parked his car like Ferrari guy
yours?
out there. Yeah, it's mine.
Okay.
Why the fuck would you touch my drink?
Oh boy.
Diaka just take whatever the fuck they want, man. Looks like I got seat 3's open.
Oh shit.
I should sit there.
Oh my god.
Oh, you get fucking smashed because he's been here to 15 minutes.
I know. He made a point of getting in early. That was kind of what I was getting at when I was like, whoever gets here first. I'm gonna let Dan lose an extra 20 minutes of sleep so he can sit in the seat he wants. Psychological warfare, and I'm winning.
At least I never said the thing that you, that goofy thing, how petty and
You were about to.
Nope.
No, yeah, you were. We've got
Such a
confirmation
little
from
and small
Blitz.
person, and I'm so insecure that I have to have seat 3.
All I know is that
I'm such a little and small person, and I'm so insecure that I have to have seat 3.
Your voice sounds weird there, Dan.
I'm such a little and small person, and I'm so insecure that I have to have seat 3.
Don't fuck with my boy, Brian. I got his back.
Well, then, have his back. You guys can have a little tickle session later.
Oh, I can see today's gonna be great with me and you, Brian. One of these days you're gonna flip me out, Brian, and I'm gonna attack you. I'm just gonna let you know that.
All right. Well, then it'll have been a good run.
Can you get sued if you put a guy on attack notice?
Oh yeah, for sure. The attack
notice.
the attack notice.
I mean, Dan, will you defend me on the attack notice when I said, Your Honor? I told the guy if he said one more word, I was gonna whip his ass, and he just kept going on. And
Please hire, please, and I'm asking you, hire Dan. That way, it'll be so sweet taking him down and you. Dan.
I would come in with every lawyer I know. I'd call in favors. Norm Canella Sr., Jr., Steve, Dan, Jay, Kevin.
Bring them all on.
Heck, we might even hire Mark Ober.
Oh, I mean, that was really dumb right there, Danny. You just showed your fucking...
He just tried to make a joke and it failed.
I did. That was horrible, Dan.
That one on there.
Leave the funny to the actual funny people, Dan. You be smart and a doctor. Let be funny.
Be smart and a doctor. Notice how he didn't put a lawyer in there. He said just be smart and a doctor. I'd like to see you guys in a lawyer off.
No, I'm not ready for that yet.
Oh, well, okay.
Brian's a little, got a couple more years on me.
And I
I'm
never.
not going to
Yeah, but I mean, Dan
I'm a better lawyer
Dan
than
is the
Brian.
man. Dan is the man. I mean, who do you know that's a doctor and a lawyer?
Give me a month or two, and then
No, quite frankly, nobody.
Nobody. He's a special breed of Aryan.
So, Dan, what's next for you? Like, you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, like, what's next?
He's
Billionaire.
He's an Iron Man.
Billionaire.
You're never gonna make billionaire, but that's cute that you think so.
Man.
Billionaire, it takes. You know how many people you'd have to fuck over in your this late in your life?
Dan said he's all about fucking people over. Dan ain't afraid to fuck a guy over.
There's not a single billionaire. Man.
There's not one person I fucked over though. I haven't fucked over.
No, and that's why you're not. And that's why you're not a billionaire. Because you haven't fucked anyone over. That is, it's a prerequisite.
Don't forget we are on YouTube today. God, I got these new headphones. Oh, they're the worst. So we can't open up with AC/DC because we're on YouTube. It's YouTube Wednesday. And the dynamics of the copyrights and the infringements and the yippee-yos are far different. So it's a little bit different of a sound. Man, Blitz, do I sound the same and it's just my headphones, or is it me?
It sounds like you sound a little different.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm hearing myself different, and
I think that's a lot of it.
And I'm doing something different to my voice. Maybe. God, these headphones are horrible.
You got the same compression?
No. Well, yeah, I mean, compression and processing doesn't change. What changed is my headphones that I've had for like 10 years broke yesterday. And so now I have a new pair of headphones, and just like any of you guys would acknowledge that when you get something in life that's broken, then, you know, I think girls are not as flipped out at change as us guys are. I mean,
in some sense, certain things we are.
Yeah, but guys, like if a guy, like if you change the route that he goes to work, just one little detour, it completely pisses us off. At least that's how I am. Maybe, and I'm thinking that Dan might be that.
What is happening?
He's singing this shit.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I was I'm so sorry.
Well, you did tell him to take a shower at the beginning of the show.
Oh, very sorry.
And you know what?
I didn't know. Whoa.
He doesn't even know the song.
He doesn't even know the note.
That's okay, he's trying.
The one thing that I like is that there's effort, and I didn't have to tell him to get in the shower. Like, he took it upon.
He did.
Like that is actually encouraging that he took it upon himself.
That's nice.
Lummy's getting him good, too.
Yeah.
Lummy's real scrubby.
Lummy, get him. Lummy,
No
get him.
mercy.
Lummy, I want the best. I want this the best scrubbing he's ever had.
Get the hair.
Yeah, the hair's important. I mean, I want. Yeah,
That hair's going to break soon anyway, so wash it.
And look at Lummy, like Lummy just puts him where he wants. Like the kid couldn't move away.
Oh my goodness.
And using Dawn dish soap. Yeah, really lather him up. Really, really. Lummy, great job. Lummy, you take control in there, okay? Get your nails down under that sebum. Yeah, get in there. Yeah. Now pull it, jerk him around a little bit, like kind of to manhandle him a little bit. All right, great. So we start the show off with Stone Joey Logano being scrubbed down as if he's like, you know, like a prisoner.
Because
like
that's the only way we can ensure he's clean.
Yeah, it looks like a prison scrub down.
It is. It's a prison scrub down.
Clean him with a boat brush.
From a distance.
This is the only program that starts their show off with a prison scrub down of an employee because they will not. Hey, listen, I think hygiene is important.
Absolutely.
And could there be like a workplace, you know, like HR violation if a person didn't shower and was real scummy and a bunch of people complained to be like, listen, you know, Rhonda over there doesn't shower and it's the word I can't take it anymore.
I would say yes.
You'd have to be careful about
That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Yeah. You'd have to be careful about the way you approach it.
He's currently scrubbing him down with Ajax.
I mean, Ajax really takes the edge off of sebum and stuff. There was this girl. So I got these new headphones, Dan, and they completely sound like it's freaking me out.
Are those the ones that I bought you?
Yeah, these are the ones. And see,
Maybe because they're Sony SONEEs. I got them dirt cheap.
From a third party on Amazon.
You got them at the Wagon Wheel Flea Market in Pinellas Park?
Yep.
Yeah.
Are those better than the in-ear ones that you had yesterday?
No, the in-ear ones are really expensive, but they're kind of a pain in the ass.
Okay.
So, Dan, the problem that I have is the kind of headphones that I like, they don't make anymore.
Oh, no.
And you have a certain sound to them. And so Blitz and I located a used pair.
Hold on. Joey Logano is brushing his teeth in the shower, and he's gagging as he's brushing his teeth.
And is he brushing with Ajax?
Because he's never had a toothbrush in his mouth. That's why he's gagging.
You gonna make it?
Make a fist if you have gag reflex.
He's probably never used toothpaste.
Right,
he just puts the brush in there without toothpaste.
By the way, if you are
he
listening,
brushes like an animal too.
if you're listening, but he's gagging. He's gagging because he's never had a toothbrush in his mouth, and his mouth doesn't know what to do. If you're listening to this show on some of our fine radio stations, then
Lummy's squirting a whole tube of toothpaste in his mouth.
oh,
Ew.
nice, ooh.
I'm gagging.
Now scrub them. Scrub the hell out of them till they bleed, till his gums bleed. Tell him. So anyway, if you're listening to the show on by whatever means, you can watch the show on YouTube. Just go to youtube.com/Bubba Army, and the live stream will come up. It's free, and you can put a visual with what you listen to right there on YouTube. It's real friendly. It's real easy. And the
Oh, now Lumix is brushing his teeth,
Lord.
scraping his tongue.
Lummy's scraping his tongue. Oh yeah, get in there, like you're cleaning, like you're descaling a grouper.
You gonna use like
Stick
a
out your
grill brush?
tongue.
There you go, Lummy. See, when you take control, Lummy, things get done, my friend. Yes, sir. Yes.
So, Bubba, I realize that the microphone won't change the sound of your voice to us, or should. I mean, the earphones shouldn't change the sound of your voice
I
to
sound
us.
different
but
to
you
you?
sound different to me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you do sound different.
You do a little
Something's
bit.
different. You sound less bassy.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like more tinny,
Yes.
Yeah.
more mid-range.
Yes.
Huh.
I think you sound
Absolutely.
great, Bubba.
You sound great, but you sound different.
It's
Yeah.
a little
different.
bit
It's still
different.
great, but different.
I think I sound nasally.
A
Kind
little.
of tinny nasally.
Yep.
Yeah.
For whatever reasons.
I'm such a little and small person, and I'm so insecure that I have to have seat 3. But I
Dan-
didn't.
Dan, we probably need to adjust your microphone. I mean, I'm not your microphone, your camera, because it looks like it's a little off center. That brings me to so not only do I have new headphones, which is making me sound different, but and I don't want Kevin Hazlett to get. There you go, Danny. Look
Better?
at that. I mean, we
Okay.
got to get all of the.
Okay.
You gotta, you know, Dan-
Is it zoomed in really too much too?
Yeah, that's
you
good.
think?
No, I was
Okay,
on the
good?
corner of it.
Okay.
It was
Dan
really
says
twisted.
I like Zoom. Zoom's
Okay.
See, I
Zoom's
like
okay.
Just really get close in there.
Yeah.
High
Says
def is
face.
kind.
Janess, you're a good, you're a Zoom type of person. I'm not quite necessarily a Zoom guy.
Is high
Yeah.
def kind to you, Bubba?
No. High def's not good for half of the staff here.
You know
In
what I
fact-
noticed yesterday? I went to the movies to watch that movie Hustlers with
Sure you did.
J-Lo.
Right.
And I noticed that I don't know if it was just the different kind of technology that they had, but they made her look really old, or she just looked old, which is
She's
unusual.
old.
She
J-Lo's
is
50.
But I know. But what I'm saying is, I've never seen them like make her look like
You've
that. You can really
probably-
see everything, her
You've
pores,
probably,
everything.
with all of the photography and things that she releases on Instagram and her publicists and things like that,
Right.
you've probably never seen an unfiltered.
Right, that's what it seemed like, that it was unfiltered. You know,
That's what
which
it should
is-
be called, J-Lo Unfiltered.
It's very
she looked
unflattering.
beautiful. Don't get me wrong.
But it's very unflattering when you
that's
get
what
older.
it seemed like.
I'm not trying to be a dick when I say this, which means I'm usually trying to be a dick. But, I mean, if you're Alex Rodriguez, you think you could score like some 22, 23-year-old hot kind of deal. But maybe A-Rod's like, listen, I need to be to the more refined 50-year-old J-Lo. I don't know. If I'm A-Rod, I'm trying to pull some, 22-year-old ass.
Yeah, but he probably ran through all the 22-year-olds
True.
worth running through.
Yeah.
I think we squirreled you on your camera talk
What do you mean?
about moving all the cameras around last night.
Yeah, right. I got to talk about that. Thank you. And by the way, Dan, it seems like you need a little more light, too. Like we need to,
Oh, it's off.
well, there, yeah.
Yeah,
He,
you
he
like
pushed
that?
it down because he didn't like it in his face.
Dan.
No, it wasn't that. First
No,
of all,
he
it
did.
wasn't on. I turned it on, then I used it so I could read.
All right, Dan. Well, you got to have
That
it. I
better?
mean, there you go. How are we going to light up that hot
Okay.
Italian
All right,
face
we're
of yours?
good. I'm good.
Yeah, there. So I hope Kevin Hazlett doesn't get mad at me and my personal doctor and both part of my legal team, Dr. Dan Diaco, who's also an attorney, and of course Brian the Babyface Matroni. Hopefully you guys can advise me not to flip out so much and to make sure that Kevin's not mad at me. But so Kevin does his show from this studio on Tuesday nights, just like you guys did your, Diaco show from in here, I think, a few times.
Yeah, at the very end.
Which I have always been very reluctant to allow the ancillary shows in here because it's just kind of my world. Like, this is my little baby, and I don't want people traipsing through here. I don't.
I
get
totally
it.
understand, Bubba. It's the nicest studio that I've set foot in. Not that I've set foot into 100 of them, but I've set foot into a few. And who wants their stuff moved even just a little bit?
Right.
A little bit of dirt, one piece of trash. All it takes is 1 or 2 pieces of trash or disarray.
They'd be like your number one examination room, like that one room that we always go back to on the right. Like that, where everything is, and like if some other doctor, when you weren't working was in there messing with your stuff.
I'd be irritated.
Yeah. So Kevin's been really good. Everybody's been really good. And I only allowed 2 people, 2 shows, Kevin and you guys. Those are the only 2 people that look at it. Looks like Joey's now cleaning.
Oh, he's
And
he's
bless his little heart,
squeegeeing.
he's really trying, but he's going from down to down to up.
Oh no,
Down
he's
to
not.
up on a squeegee.
Yeah,
Yeah. But that's the story of his life.
I know. That's why I wasn't going to say anything.
Down to up on a squeegee.
At least he's trying.
Yeah. At least he's, there's an effort there, right? It's participation.
You know
That's
what?
it.
I'll give them $10 if they wash the Ferrari out front after they're done with the shower.
Dan says, I'll give you $20 not to even touch it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Do
Yeah,
not
I'll give
touch
you
only if they
it.
drop the
$100.
sponge a
Dan
few
says,
times.
I'll give you a free nose job when I smash your face in because you touched it.
Exactly.
That's what Dan said. I might give you a free rhinoplasty because I caused the problem. Dan, if you got in a ballroom fight with somebody and you blasted somebody in the nose, could you, hey, listen, buddy, I'll fix it. I can actually fix it. Just listen,
don't sue me.
Just follow me down to my
No,
shop.
Dan would say, well, I would do it, but I don't like doing nose jobs on guys,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
you're out of luck.
Exactly. So Kevin was in here last night, and his sidekick Rock, who I'm not really that familiar with, but
It's
Rock,
not The Rock, just Rock.
It's
Just Rock.
just Rock.
Okay.
He was sitting in Janessa's seat, and for whatever reason, that camera blinked out or didn't work or whatever, and so rather than to just go sit on mic 4,
Or let Colton come back here and just switch the camera.
right, he then starts.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
That's always good when it starts
Yeah.
like that.
That laugh.
I really have to calm myself down. He then starts rewiring the cameras.
No.
Now, Blitz, you can expand on this because you're the one that. Now, the other problem is this, and I am gonna punch Colton in the face. Colton calls up Blitz,
He texts me.
texts Blitz, and Colton doesn't stop him. Like if I was Colton and somebody started rewiring my boss's stuff, I'd be like, whoa, hold on, guys.
No.
Before you start doing that, let me get somebody on the phone because I don't know if we should be doing that. Let's just don't touch nothing, and let me get Blitz or Bubba on the phone. And you would have gotten a hold of Blitz, and Blitz would have gone, okay, go back and switch it on the switcher, or here's some remedy to your deal. So Colton didn't even stop him. Colton didn't even stop them. He called Blitz or texted Blitz after the fact. Oh, I just want to let you know, I told Blitz, pick it up from here as to what happened, what you had to do, and what Colton said to you.
Well, I guess Rock took it upon himself to move, like physically unplug cameras and move them all around. And, and not just the camera, the power supply, the adapter power supply, and all that. And of course, obviously this morning they weren't on when I got here, but like everything had been moved around. And I told Colton, I was like, you're the guy we pay to be there to make sure everything's fine. Tell him to stop unplugging stuff.
And so anyway, Dan, would you not be a little bit mad?
Yeah.
I'll just park people in the back again, and you can do it back from the garage because I don't want you to rewire or touch anything. I don't.
I get it, man.
We
I
don't
get it.
touch a darn thing when we come in
I'm
to
not
do
trying
the show
and I'm
for
really
years.
Not, and I'm really not trying to be unreasonable. I'm really trying not to be like the Bubba 2007. I'm really not. I'm trying to be super cool here because Kevin is on a whole nother level. Like unless Kevin's one of my boys like you guys, and I just.
This camera hasn't given me any trouble since I started, like at all.
Blitz, what was Janessa's? And secondly, I don't want Rock even sitting on mic 2. He should be on mic 4. Like, nobody needs to be sitting over there. Kevin can sit where Dan is, and Rock can sit where Brian is. I don't know why he thinks he needs to be over there.
Yeah, I don't know.
And it's my fault. I guess I didn't instill,
Right, that was never said.
Protocols per se, but I am now.
Okay.
I am now. And if there's a problem with the studio, then before you, Rock, I don't know what your profession is, but I don't think it's broadcast engineering. I mean, I'll gladly look at your resume.
Well, and the
if
thing is,
indeed
too,
you are qualified to do that, I'll take it back.
If he comes in and sits down and like camera 4 starts messing up and he needs to go sit at camera 2 position just to make it work for a little bit, that's fine.
Listen, I think the protocol needs to be if your camera messes up, try to find another mic position where the camera is working before you start rewiring stuff.
Correct.
So anyway, I have that, my new headphones, and I don't have a Bubba Unsponged today because it's tough to book people. I did a lot of my booking because I get a hold of them through Twitter, and then I would DM my guests. Well, my Twitter's been locked up now for over a month. And so it kind of diminishes my ability to get a hold of people. So I don't have a Bubba Unsponged today, which pisses me off as well. So I'm not really doing. But the bright spot is Joey Logano took it upon himself to take a shower today. I mean, at the end of the day, that's the highest level of expectation you can have.
Isn't that sad when you're praising someone for doing their job?
Yeah. Now, Dan, can you imagine that if you had somebody that worked for you and that it was a big, oh, wow, celebration that they took a shower that day?
It would never get to that point.
Yeah, well, that's where we are right now.
They wouldn't make it through the front door.
No, they wouldn't.
Unfortunately, those are the people that come through my front door and that I pay.
Well, you have a little group of characters, and they're all unique and have their own little idiosyncrasies. I just would never, ever, ever hire someone that I thought was dirty.
But Danny, I'm asking him to take care of goats. At the end of the day,
he's a goat wrangler. He's a goat wrangler.
I mean, I'm not asking somebody to hand me a 17 blade under sterile conditions. I'm asking somebody to clean up goat poop. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You kind of get what you get.
Yeah, I guess you're
You
right.
get what you pay for.
Yeah.
Right.
Rock is an author. Okay.
Author?
Like as in writes books kind of deal.
What kind of books?
I don't know.
About dirt?
No, about audio and video engineering.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
If anything short of that, and I'm going to be
books.
mad.
Sounds quite interesting.
Let me do some words. Dr. Diaco and Brian the Babyface in today, as they will try to be most Wednesdays, schedule permitting. And Dan was here plenty early because he wanted. Now, can we now put to rest this Mike 3 deal, or is it going to be first come? I want to know what rules you guys would like to establish. Is it first come, first serve? Is it Danny full time? Is it 50-50? Mondays are Brian, Wednesdays are Danny. Like, can you?
It's like a custody battle. We'll have Regina draw something up for us.
I feel like I'm Bubba Hunter here, and I'm trying to, get to, I'm trying to co-parent here, get a co-parenting plan.
I get the summers, and
Every other weekend.
Every weekend.
Dan gets winter break, and
Right.
Thanksgiving,
Dan's got to
you get
pay you
Christmas.
a little mic support, a little mic
oh,
alimony.
he definitely has to. He has more money than me.
There's some mic alimony involved
Yeah.
here, right?
Mike-a-mony.
So, can you guys give me, can you guys work it out?
I
Can we
think-
hash it out live here on the air and be done with it?
Bubba, I think we're good like this.
Well, no, hold on.
First come, first served. Yes. When he
come
says
on.
like this,
I'm
he
not-
means what happened this
No,
morning. First
no.
come, first served.
I think that I'm in the proper seat, and I'm not going to try to get here earlier and earlier and earlier. I'll start getting here at 3 a.m., bro. I'll camp out front.
And I will glad
That's
if you
exactly what he wants.
If you do that, then you deserve Mike 3. If I beat you in here, I'm telling you right now, if we're gonna do first come, first
We're
serve.
not doing first come, first serve. This is my seat. That's your
No,
seat. That's
first
the
come,
jabroni seat.
first served.
Now,
This is Dan's seat.
hold on.
Bubba,
Dan.
you had to ask him.
Dan. Now, Dan, I think that you have an interesting argument, but when then you say that that's the jabroni seat, then who would want to sit in the jabroni seat?
I meant Matroni seat.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
It was a slip of the tongue.
Well, I'm now, see,
Here's why it should be, though, Bubba.
Old man Dan needs to be able to get to the bathroom quicker, so we don't want him messing his pants.
No.
He pees 8 times a show.
There's an objective reason, Bubba, and that is that Brian brings in his own computer and can do things from his own little laptop, Microsoft Surface Plus, and I'm using this computer, so it makes more sense. We both have access to the computer.
He's not using the computer at all. Let's be clear on
I'm
this.
trying to get today's video on here. I'm still looking at Tuttle from last night or something.
Do you even know how
Or
to sign
Kevin.
on there, Danny?
Kevin
do
and
Are
the
you
Rock.
looking at Tuttle from last night?
So it's Tuttle and the Rock. It's a Kevin Hazlett and the Rock.
He's on.
This guy-
He's on.
Bubba,
He's
he
watching
looks like
Twitch.
Tuttle. He looks just like Tuttle.
Dan, are you on Goofballs right now?
He's on Twitch.
He's
I'm on
not even
Twitch.
aware that Tuttle's no longer with the show.
I know, but it looks like Tuttle.
He's not
Kevin
even aware,
Hazlett.
Bubba. He's not
I
even
am
aware.
I'm aware. That's why we're here, Brian. Come on. Jeez.
But now hold on, we have to.
Someone help me on
we
this
got
computer, please.
we got to get through this.
It's first come, first served. First is first. That's it.
No, Dan,
Dan, I'll give you a hint. We're on YouTube today.
Yeah, Dan. Dan,
I thought it was all set up for me.
Dan, you are an absolute prima donna.
He
are you
is.
not? I mean, Dan, now do I have to have your area set up for you to come in here? Do
Please.
do you have a writer?
He has a
Please.
rider.
I don't need a rider. I went 2 Munster rehabs and the computer where it's supposed to be.
They don't supply you drinks and beverages, Dan.
He asked for my rider.
Usually we're asking you to bring us that stuff. I mean, you're the guy pulling up on a Ferrari. I'm just saying, we can't afford to get.
I want to roll in at 5:59 and 45 seconds, and I want my mic seat 3 completely prepared for me.
I need the lights right. I need the ambient temperature at certain degrees. I need the relative humidity at a certain deal.
And I can't be expected to know which venue you're on today.
I can't
Twitch,
even be expected to know who
YouTube.
works for you. I don't even need to know who works for you at the end of the day.
You know, I knew you were on YouTube today because you talked about your introduction being a little different.
Right.
And
And that's why he was on Twitch. And there goes Dead Air Dan. Did you see? As soon as the fingers go to the keyboard, the mouth shuts off. It is impossible for Dead Air Dan to type and talk at the same time.
Brian, I will tell you, man, you do come from a reasoning of expert because you've done more side-by-side broadcasting with this guy than any human being, so you know his little quirks like you really do.
Yes.
So I didn't know if you were on YouTube, that meant that you were not on Twitch. I didn't know one was exclusive to the other. I thought it was in addition.
Donkey Teeth just threw up $14.99,
Hey.
and he said Babyface actually listens to the show. He gets the dibs. See,
go.
Dan, you're not going to win in a listener poll, so we're going to have to somehow sneak you into that chair under a technicality because you will not win with the Bubba Army. They love you. They love the hell out of you, but they're gonna rally behind the Babyface.
Okay, how
on
about
this.
my 21 years with you versus his like 5?
5?
Well,
Please.
he's been with me longer than that, but that is a great point. You've been with me longer than I think I met you in 99.
99.
In 99, yeah,
I'm the only one who had a spouse work for you.
that you're no longer with.
Exactly. An ex
And
spouse.
neither are you.
just
You
saying.
fired her, I fired her. That's the way it works.
I think I got rid of her before you did.
You did, and then I followed suit.
But I
because
don't think. Hold on, I don't think I ever fired.
No,
Kelly.
no.
I would have never. Listen, I don't know how you feel about your ex-wife, but I absolutely adored her, and she was like actually one of the very few people
99-cent floors just tipped $10.
that had her act together.
No, she was good, and she went on to be an educator. So
So Dan, what are we gonna do?
Didn't she have big jugs?
Oh, she had huge jugs. What are we gonna do with this chair deal?
I think we've solved it.
How about
first
this?
come, first served.
Would either one of you guys be mad or offended if I just took a step back and said, I don't care who sits there. You guys figure it out amongst yourselves.
It's fine by me.
I mean,
Whoever gets here first gets the chair.
Or you can just assert your dominance, influence, and authority
And tell Dan that whoever gets here first gets the chair.
and say, Dan, you've done so much for me in the show over the last 21 years. I just want you to just sit in that seat and be happy and not worry about this in the future.
Why would you care so much?
I like the seat. This is the seat that I do the Thursday shows on. I like to have the screen in front of me. I like to have the computer with me because you bring your own little computer.
You
It's
can
cute.
bring
It's
your own
adorable.
little thing.
Yeah, Brian, that's a seat he does Thursdays on.
He,
He's no longer doing Thursdays on.
yeah.
Exactly. I miss this seat.
He did 2 Thursday shows from there, by the way. Two. And the reason it was only 2 is because he was out of town for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, surfing and in Bora Bora
Yeah.
and at some plastic surgery convention and what have you.
And I do every Thursday morning show with you here in the seat.
Why don't we spin the wheel with our names on it, and we'll
Oh,
see
would you
who it
guys
lands
now hold
on.
on? Would you guys be willing to do that? That it's a lotto.
Yep.
Nope.
See, he's totally unreasonable, Bubba. He's a tyrant. He's a tyrant.
I'm
Danny, you
commandeering the
are a
seat.
tyrant.
You're a tyrant.
Out of the 3 Diacos, you're the most unreasonable.
Oh, now I'm the most unreasonable.
No, Jay's the most reasonable. Steve comes in a respectable second.
Try talking Jay into something he's not into.
No, but Jay's
Good
more.
luck.
But am I wrong? Am I wrong by Brian? You as an outsider, am I wrong by ranking the 3 Diacos and by reasonability would be Jay, Steve, Dan?
No.
Am I wrong?
I think it's Steve, Dan, Jay. Yeah.
No, Jay's the most hard-headed.
Jay.
No.
Jay comes.
Jay's
no.
the most patient and kind.
No.
Jay is very
Very
kind.
particular.
He's very kind, but he is also very stubborn.
He's very particular.
Who's meaner?
The meanest Diaco.
When provoked,
Steven. Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that was in unison. When provoked, Steven's a little pit bull, man.
Really? Who's the nicest?
Dan.
Thank you.
I thought Dan would be the meanest.
No.
I'm not the
No,
best.
Dan.
Who's the biggest prima donna?
Oh, me.
Dan.
The Bubba Radio Network continues after this.
Sorry, buddy.
God, not you. It's not your fault.
Well, if I'd known yours were going to break, I would have asked you what pair you wanted.
No, you can't buy them, buddy.
You want wireless?
No, you hate
I know.
Bluetooth. How's some beats?
No, I need. I got a set coming.
You found a set someplace?
Yeah, online, a used set. So I'm gonna buy a couple.
Specific model,
Mhm.
or like high pro model. Why
Yeah.
don't you make it anymore?
They just
Let me see what you got now.
He's got the same as
baby
us.
face is loud, hot. You seem lower than the rest. Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was my mic or not. But
It was me. Because I got. What do you got here?
I was just gonna look at your headphones.
Oh, the ones I have now are just like your guys's.
Oh, okay.
The ones that are broke, Blitz took them because he's gonna try to rehab them.
See if you can fix them.
I seem lower and baby's too hot.
This has got to go TT.
All right. Good. I got some good stuff that you guys can chime in on today. That I need your expert opinions.
I wonder if the mic's better on this side for me, so that the camera doesn't. The mic doesn't obstruct the camera off the baby face. Yeah, that tut you let out, Bubba, when you were describing Rock messing with your cameras. You could just tell immediately.
Well, I mean,
I get it, man. And Dan and I are very careful to put everything in the exact. We don't mess with a damn thing. When we
I know you don't, and he knows better than, and Kevin knows better than
Now I
that.
will say this: I did
Instagram.
sit in seat 2 because I didn't know that was
I hate Instagram.
Yeah, nobody knows.
supposed to be off limits. But
I'm more mad at Colton that didn't stop him.
yeah, I think that's a tough position because
It's not a tough position. Not a tough position at all.
No, I hear you. I could see though where he would be intimidated by Kevin Hazlett a little bit, just
Well, that's great. You could turn that around and say, Kevin, you know who I work for? Kevin, you know who's going to flip out like a gorilla tomorrow when he...
I'd rather hear from Kevin than hear from Bubba.
Yeah,
Point.
that's just being dumb.
That's a close call.
Yeah, I know.
If Kevin's calling you out on something, you're probably in pretty big trouble.
Yeah, I know, but I would say, like, listen, Kevin, you know, you've had to deal with this tyrant before. He's going to flip out, Kevin, so you can feel my pain.
Pretty much say that you're an ass.
Might as well. I'm not here.
No, you're right. You're right. I'm just saying I could see where Colton would be a little bit mealy-mouthed about it and not assertive. He is a nice kid, though. I would say he's probably the second best you've had in that.
That really says a lot.
Well, Rick was really good back in the day. Frank would be third, and then Bald Bull was fourth. They're the people who ran it for us.
Take camera off me, put it on Janessa. I don't want you fucking put it on me, I look horrible.
The great ape today. Good morning, Bill Logan. How are you? Morning, Mile High. I don't know, Janessa Mark. I don't know. He just likes his old headphones. Good morning, RD Rich. Well, I did dress kind of bummy the past couple of days, so I figured I'd dress up.
What's that?
A client call.
I know James.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
James Eaton.
From
I
Surgery?
check out Jen's Instagram every day. I follow her.
Called yesterday. They were
Hot mic.
transporting her. She fell.
Oh. Oh, a client, like a potential client.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning,
Yeah, to me,
Bulldog.
the med-mal statutes need to be changed. It has to be the rendering of professional medicine, not we were transporting and dropped her. Like, that literally would fall under potentially med-mal. If the transport was part and parcel to some sort of medical treatment.
Yeah, it's less though because the transport people aren't protected by the
Right.
board of trustees.
But if it's
it is separate.
But if it's nurses in a hospital or
It's still separate.
staff
It's still separate. You
taking
can start
her,
in the
taking
action,
her
but
to an MRI.
they don't have the same. They don't have the same protections as doctors.
Live from the OG Royalty Studios, it's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show. Dan, you need to spray down like Trace. Brian, don't you agree? He needs to spray down with some Febreze. You know.
Yeah. I'm tiptoeing around that, Bubba.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Dan's not a big fan of that.
Oh, of calling him out?
Yeah.
Oh, well, Dan's not a big fan of calling anybody out. I mean, it's for himself.
Yeah, I hate when you get called out.
Yeah.
Blitz, I just switched over to my inner ears, you know, my inner ears, so to speak.
Yep.
Which, by the way, if Dan saw these, you know he'd want a pair. Like, he'd be like, oh,
He
my
probably
God.
already has 6 pairs for his race car.
Well, yeah,
I
don't
do
know.
have inner ears for my race car.
I don't know if they're, Blitz, most of them are molded out of, like, rubber. These are the hard acrylic, like,
Yeah.
ones that, you know, professional sound engineers would wear.
Yeah, they came and they injected stuff into your ears until it hardened, and they made a mold of it. And
Yeah.
then-
Right. Those are the best ones. I have shooting earplugs like that
Oh, really?
where they pour them in and let them harden.
So,
Yep.
Blitz, and I'm going from headphones to headphones trying to find something that I'm not freaked out about.
Sure.
But if you hear anything on the audio chain that I need to work on, like Wags was texting me and said, ask Blitz, but Babyface, the last segment seemed a little hot,
He did.
and I seemed a little low.
You sound better.
I think I sound better now.
Must be the earphones.
And I know that there's probably a lot of people right now that are listening to the show or maybe watching the show on YouTube be like, man, Bubba, quit being like a little bitch and worried about your headphones.
A lot of people in the studio, too.
Yeah.
It makes a difference, though.
But I don't, listen, I've been on the radio now, what would be 1986 from 33 years?
Sounds about right.
Yep.
Okay. So I've been hearing myself for 20 some hours a week for 34 years. And like
Those poor ears.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
I mean, listen, think about my poor ears and the stuff that they have to listen to. Like they're not producing the content, but they have to hear it.
My poor ears can't turn me off.
Yeah, my ears are like, man, we want to go deaf, so we don't have to listen to the nonsense anymore.
You keep shoving Q-tips 8 inches down into your ear canal.
Dan, so you're a doctor, and do you have to lick your Q-tip before you clean your ear?
No.
I have to.
I do too.
Well,
I absolutely, positively have to wet my.
I only do that so when I use my Q-tips right when I get out of the shower.
So you don't need it after that.
Yeah, the first couple you don't have to do that because your ears are already wet.
But Dan, it's almost like muscle memory. Like I couldn't I have Q-tips over here as a matter of fact. And if I was to, I clean my ears almost every day. Now, Brian says,
thank goodness.
Brian says that my ear issues I've been having lately are because I've jammed, 53 years worth of wax down in there. Whereas I don't think that's the case because I dig in there. But I'm going to take my inner ears off now. And if I clean my ears, before I go here, I just instinctually put a little thing of spit,
Why do you do that?
But wouldn't you catch less earwax with it wet?
Yes, I think so. It grabs more, a little dry.
But there's nothing in there. Absolutely nothing.
Well, I would think
you didn't use your mouth.
I did too.
Yeah, you did.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
you
did.
did.
Oh, you did? I didn't see it.
I would think it would matter whether or not he has dry earwax or wet. I think the wetting would work better off on getting dry earwax out.
Yeah, which would happen if he let it go for weeks and caked it in.
So I think the original reason for wetting the Q-tip is to keep the cotton together because sometimes it'll fray.
Right.
So if you wet it, it'll all stay together and not fray off into your ear.
Are those Q-tip brand or Equate brand?
Yeah, because
the
cheaper
Q-tip,
they are, the more they fray.
Don't save the 40 cents.
Oh,
spend the money.
It's not worth it.
These are the Beauty 360s.
Beauty 360.
That's CVS brand.
No, you gotta spend the money on.
No.
You can't cheap out on Q-tips.
No, you got to get real Q-tips.
You got to go name brand.
I don't really see much of a difference.
There's a huge difference.
There's huge difference.
The doctor's not saying there's a difference.
It's like saying there's not much of a difference between a Kia and a Ferrari. There's a huge difference. They're both cars.
The cotton's not as good, and the stick is flimsy.
The stick is the worst part.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, God.
The ones with little hollow plastic tube, those things are the worst.
Oh, they crack. Yeah, they break. But is there anybody else that has to wet a Q-tip before you put it in your ear? Or am I just that weird?
I've done that sometimes when I'm not in the shower.
If it's
the
cheap
first one,
Q-tips,
the first one.
Yeah, I agree with Dan. If I'm not coming out of the shower, I always wet it.
But you don't go into the ear canal, Bubba, and you jam it in there.
You go into the ear canal, you swing it around.
Oh, that's terrible medical advice from Dan. Every ENT out there is like, no.
I also think it matters how often you do it. It's not good to shove it in if you don't do it very often, because then you're shoving in big pieces of wax.
Yeah, but when
if you do it all the time, there's barely anything there.
And there's barely anything in there.
Yeah, but just think, barely a little for.
Yeah, but don't you think the wax coming out takes that wax you have shoved back out of your ear?
The ear is designed to slowly move the wax out.
Right.
So
out, not to have it shoved back in.
But if you shove a little back in, it'll eventually move its way back out.
So Brian's wrong in the fact that my ear aches because I've been having Brian, I went to the dentist yesterday and I found out why I'm having earaches.
I said a possible explanation, but I said if you got your ears irrigated, that they would probably get large black chunks of impacted wax out of your ear canal.
Nope.
So Dan, do you have an ear irrigation? Is there such a thing?
When I irrigate an ear, I'll use a little IV catheter, put it on the end of a syringe, and shoot.
And just kind of pressure.
Blast it.
With what?
Saline?
Yeah, just
like water.
Clean water.
Yeah, but the ear irrigator, would you have to go to an ENT for that? And then do they have a machine that power washes it and then sucks it out? Do they have such a thing?
They do.
You should candle wax your ear.
That doesn't
Don't
work.
do that either.
No?
No, that's the biggest myth going.
That doesn't help.
Yeah, Bubba used to love doing it.
Well, until I snoped it and it said it's not really a thing. See, Janessa thought it too.
I thought so too. I mean, I never done it, but I heard good things about it.
Isn't that the biggest? It's not what it says it is. When those
I don't like those things. I think it's ridiculous.
Cave or somebody, see if you can Google professional ear aggregator. Is that what you call it? Irrigator.
IRRI.
Didn't somebody make an earwax candle song for you back in the day at 98 Rock?
Oh, I don't.
Probably because he was real big into it back then.
Yeah, the earwax candle in the wind or something like that. It was a terrible parody.
Man, you are a show historian, are you not?
He's good.
I think it might have been like Whitey Pippin or something like that. Going back
I
that
did.
far.
I hear
believe-
Whitey's back around this area.
Oh, I think he is. I really do think he is.
You'd take seat 4.
Yeah, when I beat you in the morning for C3 and then you're at the kiddie table.
Have we figured out what the seat protocol is
So
going to be?
K-Man sent you a link, but he said, just remember it's a YouTube video.
What do you mean?
Well, you might get a copyright strike if you're playing another YouTube video on your YouTube.
Really? I thought it would just be promoting a YouTube within a YouTube, but it ain't, is it?
Nope.
All right. Well, I'm going to play it on this here so everybody can watch it, but don't broadcast it.
Yeah.
All right. So this supposedly is an ear irrigator, Dan. You can
Push away cerumen that is too close to the eardrum or too
cerumen.
hard and impacted to be removed with a curette.
These, Brian, these are for white trash that have not cleaned their ears ever. Like, did you ever go to school? There was a guy in our school named Sam Churchill, and he never cleaned
Not
his
to call
ears.
him out or anything.
Listen,
And another troll is created.
well,
I know. There you go.
hold on. Doesn't the absolute truth save you from defamation and slander?
Oh, no, absolutely.
Oh, no, I didn't say that. I said calling him out.
Yeah.
You're just calling him out.
Yeah.
Now he will want.
Now, if somebody
to
if
get
somebody
you.
would look into Sam Churchill's ears, unless he got on a real steady ear cleaning regiment in the last. But when I went to school with Sam Churchill, you could literally look inside Sam's ears, and it looked like a beehive.
That's disgusting.
is-
Oh my
that is
god.
We all know kids like that growing up.
Yeah,
though.
exactly. And so this ear irrigation deal, Brian, I would think would be for people like that, not people that clean their ears a lot.
Impacted wax.
And you get impacted wax by shoving Q-tips
With
into your
tradition-
canal.
Brian, I don't think you're a doctor, though. I mean,
Or
this is one
not doing
particular
anything.
I don't think you need to be a doctor to know that
Right.
that's
It's
bad.
I hear it's unhealthy to do that.
Yeah, I mean, every ENT guy will tell you not to do it.
And
but
Yeah,
there's a
and they-
reason why they're telling you not to do
And
it.
they always say, don't put anything smaller than your elbow
No,
in
bigger
there.
than your fingertip.
No,
Smaller than
it's-
your fingertip.
No, it's big. It's small. It's bigger than your elbow because you can't put your elbow in your ear, so you're not supposed to put nothing.
No,
in
but they're
your
talking about in your ear canal, your fingertip. You can clean it out with. You can clean out the outer ear.
Theoretically, you could be jamming it in there with your fingertip too. I can ear screw myself. You can go in there and just jam it.
Your ear canal is so big you can fit your index finger inside of it.
No, not my index, but my pinky finger. I can.
Yeah,
look.
It's not very deep.
Oh, bull crap!
They have this new thing with
Let's
a little
see how deep
spiral
you
at
can
the
get.
end,
Hold on,
and you
Dan.
pull and you
Bubba's-
put it in there, and you just
pull it out,
you
like,
just pull it
drill it
out.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it
actually, I put a
catches all the
Q-tip.
wet.
I put a Q-tip on the end of a drill and just use that.
I get one of those high-speed Dremels that go 13,000 RPMs. I just let it eat.
Oh, that must feel good.
But I mean, hold on. Take an earphone off, guys, and you can with your pinky finger. I can get in there pretty good.
I can get in with my little fingernail.
I mean, I
my
guess a
long
little bit.
fingernail.
Yeah, she's got. If you got like this
You know,
little
she can get it with her
cocaine
coke
pinky
nail.
nail.
I got my long
Janessa can get it with her coke nail.
my coke nail.
Isn't that what coke
There's
people do?
still some remnants underneath. No,
Coke
I'm just
nail.
kidding.
Here we go. Here's the eardrum irrigator,
Uses a single stream of water.
which the doctor says is nonsense, and the lawyer says is.
It's not
aimed
nonsense.
directly at the tympanic.
Again, it's made for people that don't have good ear hygiene.
It's not true.
and
It's made
Bubba-
for people who get impacted earwax for a variety of reasons. It could be physiological. It could be that they're shoving Q-tips down their ears for 33 years.
That doesn't give you chronic impacted earwax. And what I described, Bubba, is exactly what I'm seeing in the picture. It's a syringe with a little tube at the end.
Hold on.
membrane. This is painful, and ear irrigation system.
Here we go.
3 streams of water are directed away from the eardrum and towards the ear canal wall.
See this, Brian. This person right here is somebody who's not cleaned their ears a lot.
No, they clean it so
Often.
often
No.
that
That's
it
pushed
gets
in.
pushed back in and
Dan,
impacted.
do
How much
you
want to
have-
bet your ears look like that?
Dan, do you have?
I'm telling you, if Bubba got his ears irrigated,
I bet you if I looked in Bubba's ears, they would be crystal
Hold on.
clean.
I bet you
they're-
won't.
I
bet you they're clean.
I bet you they're crystal clean.
I mean, at the beginning, maybe towards the end, towards the eardrum, it's probably a little
There's
impacted.
impact.
Do you have one of those ear thing that you look like the doctor looks inside your ears?
Not in my back pocket, but I do in my office.
I'm talking about your office.
Yes.
Yeah. Will you bring the ear deal Monday?
I'll try to bring it Monday. Yes.
Now, but you can visually, if you have a flashlight,
I can see in your ear right now.
You can get into people's ears.
May I look now? May I look now?
Not
Yes,
all the way
but hold
down
on.
to where you would need
Yes,
to see.
not only do I want you to look,
impacted.
but I want you to look at don't anybody touch your ears. I want everybody to get their ears inspected by the doctor right now. So come up here, Dan, and look at my ears.
This is what he wants to
I'll
do.
say congratulations,
He's like,
Dan.
that's why I went into plastic surgery.
To check
So I didn't have
people's
to
ears
do
on
this
the
shit.
air.
Hold on. I'm going to lift my... Not that much.
I'm making sure.
Dan,
I'm just
Dan
giving a little brush.
handles me like... Immaculate.
Oh, he
Now
saw
look- now
all
hold
the
on.
way down
now
into
look
the
at
canal.
Brian's. Now look at Brian's. Now look, and Dan gets it.
Oh.
Seriously.
He's being a dick.
Swear to God.
Swear to God.
I swear to God.
There's
Now,
no
hold on.
earwax in there.
Beeswax.
Now look at
Beeswax
hold on. Now
on the
look at
outside.
Janessa.
Disgusting.
Look
Can
at
Dan
this.
look at
Nothing.
yours? Can Dan look
Nothing.
at yours? She goes, gladly Dan can look at mine.
Is it bad?
There is nothing.
You're good. Let's see outside. She's good.
How about Joey's? Oh yeah. How
Oh,
about
no.
Joey's? Bad.
I see a bunch of shiny stuff staring at me. See, the thing is,
which
when
is
I
wax,
look,
right?
here's the easy.
So what is
here's
it?
the
What do
easy
you do?
test.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for yellow gold
Yeah.
wax
Okay.
or something really shiny. And when I looked in Bubba's and Janessa's ears, it was just skin, pristine skin, clean. When I looked in Brian's ear, I saw immediate shiny yellow gold.
He's full of
I swear to God.
mean, don't
And
make
then
me
Joey
curse. 'Cause
Logano had on the right side,
I
too.
stuck my finger into my ear after he said
Get
that.
a
and
Q-tip,
there
Bubba.
was
Do a Q-tip
nothing.
test. I bet you pick up all kinds of grime. Let's see what the Q-tip looks like.
Well, he won't Q-tip. Like if we Q-tip it, then we would get some, but he'll just like go, right.
No,
just
I've
barely
got
right
clean
in.
ear. I clean my outer ear.
Not
I
as
just
good as
don't
I.
shove it. I just don't. And I'm telling you right now,
Oh,
have
the
a real
outside of your ear's
ENT,
clean.
not a plastic surgeon, a real ENT call in and say what
Injury to the
happens
ear?
when you shove
got a
Q-tips in
real-
You're
your
not
ear.
shoving. You're scooping and scraping out. You're not
No,
shoving
Bubba,
it in. You're
have
not,
you
it's not a
seen
plunger.
Bubba do it? He goes deep plunge
You
in.
start deep and then you work your way out.
No, but what you don't understand, Brian, is I'm putting it in the upper part of the canal, and then I'm wet. I'm like an excavator. I'm excavating it out.
Exactly.
Okay.
There's a little bit of room. Like it's just not a straight. It's not like a piston in a ring that's a straight seal on a
I've seen
cylinder
you do
wall.
it, and you're pretty aggressive.
Well, yeah, I am
And that's
aggressive.
why it's clean.
Be
and
aggressive.
you're unaggressive. I hope you wipe your butt better than you clean your ears,
Yeah,
Brian.
you're unaggressive on cleaning your ears. I'm aggressive, and you're unaggressive.
Ew! Ew!
What?
Gross. Whose finger is that?
Oh, that's
That
Joey.
was Joey.
Oh, he shoved it in his ear and then pulled it out.
Hold on. We have.
Yeah, I can see. I can tell. He had
And
a
there was
dirty
a
ear.
boulder. There was a boulder in it.
Hey, Blitz, don't ask Caveman, but don't we have a YouTube video? Now, is it a copyright violation if I play my own YouTube on my own YouTube?
Never know.
Probably is, but let's try it.
I think we had where we brought everybody in here.
Yeah, we did.
And we cleaned their ears. And you remember how nasty Bri Boy's ears were?
Ew.
They were like he
Oh,
stuck
man.
it in a jar of mustard.
Really?
If Janessa would have been throwing up that day if she was here.
Yeah, it's like he literally stuck it in a jar of mustard. Here,
Oh, no.
Caveman sent it to me right here. Now I hope I don't get a violation on the violation. Everybody lights, and I hold on here. Let me put it over here so everybody can see it. We've had this ear discussion before on the show, ear hygiene, and so let me see if I can do like this.
Yeah, you should.
No, I don't.
Here we go. God! Oh, here we go. Hold on. There.
Did something.
Yeah, what an idiot. All right. So Mike 4 there will be the ear cleaning position. Up on like there. Now, that was Lummy's too.
Oof.
Oh, that's pretty gross.
That's not,
That's not
pretty
that
gross,
bad.
but Dan, that's like, a half-inch incision compared to a full-blown cut your arm off compared to what's coming. Check this
no.
out.
I think
Hold on
he
here.
won select. I had more than we
Oh, yeah.
thought.
So the smoothest brother in the entire joint, the guy that looks the best, Ciroc, had some of the worst ears.
Really?
Oh, Ciroc, you nasty
man.
bastard! Here, let me put that
One
we'll
ear
put it down
daily.
on a long time. Put
For
it
the
on-
nastiest.
There you go.
Look at
Oh boy.
That's Ciroc, and now look at this right here.
No, please.
That's how Brian's ears would look, probably.
Good thing I didn't have any breakfast
That
yet.
one, guys.
Absolutely not.
So,
I'm always tempted.
all right, here we go.
With you.
One back in.
Yeah,
Just want to go to the sheet. Just go right to the white sheet.
I wonder what Dan's lungs look like.
Oh my God. Here we go. Now,
Oh my God.
Danny, look at that.
I'm gonna vomit.
By the way, we're looking at everybody on the show about 3-4 months ago did an ear cleaning deal. And then we put them on a white piece of paper in increments of 2 Q-tips, 1 for each ear. And we're watching that right now on our YouTube.
Look at the fraying on those cheap
Yeah,
Q-tips,
those
though.
are so
Oh
bad.
my God! You
That's
don't
why
think
it's
any of that's
disgusting.
you don't think any of that's
It
getting
stayed
into the
behind.
ear canal?
That's why you lick it first.
Yeah, that's why you lick it first, and you think if a little
Or you
cotton's
spend
the
a
least
little
of your
extra money
worries.
and buy a good one.
But even Q-tip brain, you should lick first, unless your
Yeah.
ears are already wet.
I mean, tell me, in almost every instance in life, it's better when you lick first, is it not?
Yeah, I think so.
There's not a lot of
I think the
applications.
Q-tip is. I think their motto is you got to lick it before you stick it.
Yeah.
Right. Every animal licks it first.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of instances in our life where a pre-lick wouldn't, be warranted. Go as deep. I mean, go as deep as get. Caveman, you're. I think this guy nasty, but you're clean. Caveman was pretty clean. Here's his ears. Put it on the piece of paper, Caveman. You're a clean guy. So that's not bad at all.
No, that's pristine.
Sometimes
almost.
look nasty, but you're. This could be. I think.
Oh
By the way,
God.
all the millennials. All the people under 30 had the dirtiest ears.
Really?
Yep.
Everybody over 30 had the cleanest ears.
Do you think they never taught how to clean their ears?
I think that
They've lived it
parenting-
up. They've lived in this world. We're like, don't clean your ears. You're going to hurt
You
yourself.
can clean them without
world-
dangerous Q-tip.
shoving
You're gonna
Q-tips
die
into
from
your
a
ear
Q-tip.
canal.
And look at the youngest person here, Brian, is the one. I bet your daughter will have the dirtiest ears of all because you don't teach her to get in there like Doug Clem did.
Exactly.
My daughter's
Exactly.
ears will be fine. Don't talk about my
listen.
daughter.
Listen,
No, I'm serious.
She won't go deaf, but she'll have dirty
I'm
ears.
not talking bad about your daughter. I'm worried about your daughter's ear healthiness.
Her
healthy.
ears.
Because you can't trust people with a Q-tip anymore. That's a
Right.
much too dangerous instrumentality.
As all of us were growing up, our dads or our moms took us aside and said, listen, like my dad said, listen, when you get out of the shower, you get these Q-tips and you jam them in there and you try to dig everything out. You
I
hear
think
me?
you can poke your eardrum though out.
Give it 10
Yeah.
years, there'll be mandatory background checks if you got to buy Q-tips.
I think this could give, again, all the under 30s have the dirtiest ears because they're all like Brian. This is a bunch of wussies.
not
Stone
about
Joey
being a
Logano will run
wuss.
for his money on the,
There's my right one. I got as far deep as I could get. There's
let's see, I'll put Boy and Tuttle.
Yeah.
Colton's aren't too bad.
No, Colton's
Let's
pretty
get Tuttle and then somebody grab
All right, let's
short
see what
stick.
Tuttle's looks like.
All right, now get by.
On there, but not much.
Oh,
He like bends
not
up the
much.
Q-tip.
yeah, like his finger. All right, now get by Boyner. I got to think by. Now, hold on. Wait till you guys see this. This is going to make. I just want
Oh my
everybody
God.
to know. Hold
Oh
on.
my God.
I'm going to go into words next. But I want everybody to be prepared because you might throw up when you see this. You might want to look away if you have a weak stomach.
It's
You
that
dig in
bad.
your ears, the bobby pin. It's that bad.
No.
Yeah.
Or something like
Janessa,
that.
you certainly need to probably close your eyes.
I mean,
The doctor
good thing I
has
didn't
seen all
have
kinds of
breakfast
girls.
this morning.
yeah,
'cause I'm
sometimes you
like,
get dirt.
Oh my God.
Looks like a highlighter.
It does look like a yellow highlighter.
Oh, that's gross.
Never.
Now, Dan, do you know how grimy your ear has to be in order to get that tight? Oh, my.
Almost like
My Lord. You might have, like it's almost like pus. You're
Yeah.
exactly right. The worst one, by boy, just like I said.
I didn't have chunks on mine like Joey.
Oh, my Lord.
Look at that Q-tip.
That is gross.
Oh,
That
wow.
Q-tip's crying.
That's like brown.
It looks like he dipped it in honey.
Yeah.
Or mustard.
Oh my God.
Oh, yours is the worst! Ah! Oh my God! That is gross. That's the worst. Bye, boy's nasty. That is the worst. Oh my God!
I've never heard Bubba's voice get that high before.
That's
No.
the worst I'm gonna absolutely puke.
Boy, it's a good thing I'm in a
It's
stable
disgusting.
relationship, so I'm not making a great name for myself.
Do your mom and dad's not instill? Like, did your dad not take you aside and said, son?
I
this, like-
forget.
He forgets.
And you know
I
what,
forget.
Dan? That's what it is. The younger fathers didn't take their sons aside and say,
Have the talk with them.
Have the talk.
Now, son, let me explain to you.
like my dad. Hold on.
If his mom didn't already disown him.
Look at this.
Oh my God.
That is so bad.
The fact that he could double dip and it comes out just as dirty as the
He
first.
could probably use 10 Q-tips, so it'd be just as gross.
But Brian, you're right. Usually the first one's a little heavier than the second one. You start
Oh my
trailing off,
God.
right?
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Not on this one. Oh my Lord!
What's wrong with you, Lemon?
Have you ever seen those? Have you ever seen those loops that you can stick in your ear to get the wax out? It's like a little loop, and it helps like trap it through the loop, and it can scrape out some of the extra wax.
Oh.
You can get big chunks with that.
Oh, you mean
It's like a little plastic loop.
yeah, I've seen them. They're also metal ones as well. You can use them to cut to
No,
pop
see, that's
blackheads
dangerous.
too, can't you?
The metals.
Similar to that,
Scares
but it's a
me.
little softer because you don't pierce the eardrum.
Eardrum and allows the water to get behind the obstruction and gently wash it away.
Everything's about being gentle nowadays. Why can't we just blast it?
That's what I say.
I want to open up a place in the mall called Ear Blasting. We're not gentle, nothing. We're going to power wash your ears, and you're going to be able to hear sounds that you haven't heard in 15 years.
Exactly.
Tip has a flared design that prevents it from.
You know what, Dan? You are right. You're like, old school wise, you just put a little tip on a syringe. That's what they're doing.
Yep, blast it out.
And then they just blast it out. Oh. So I don't even know how we got into that deal. I don't even know how we got onto that into that particular topic. When I come back, did you see where, and I think it maybe New York City or something like that, where CVS is going to test dropping off your prescriptions with drones?
Yeah, that's
Oxy's in the sky.
Can you imagine how many hill jacks would be like, hey, Jimmy, about 3 o'clock every day, this damn drone comes flying through here. If we blast it out of the sky, it's hard telling if there might be some oxys, there might be some Percocets, there might be some, some Ambiens. Like, how could you?
The one time you shoot it down, it's like high blood pressure medicine.
The Bubba Radio Network continues after this.
It's Valtrex.
They probably won't send those kinds of drugs
No,
with drones.
No.
They won't
But how
do
are they
it.
going to actually be able to do that?
They won't do it. Probably like moxicillin, something like that.
Birth control.
Yeah. They're definitely not perks or Adderalls or.
Is drone technology coming, Blitz? I mean, is drone deliveries coming?
Oh, yeah.
Like, how are they
Do me
going
a
to...
favor, try those.
Those look like some 600s or something. Whose are these?
Someone had sitting around. They have your headband on them and your ear pads on them now. Try them.
Blitz, I think I almost need to come maybe take care of you after work today.
Well, I don't know if they work or not, so let's try them.
Yeah,
I was ready to do that for
exactly
you.
what I'm trying to do.
I know, but I don't want to give refunds.
Yeah, you know.
I want to give a refund.
Yeah.
Try them.
Oh my God.
The headphones themselves are different, but I
You
put
got
your
me.
ear pads on it and I put your top piece on it.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep.
Blitz. I got my headphones back, Danny.
Yay.
Feel better?
I got ASAT. I don't have to use these fucking inner ears anymore.
They drive me nuts, don't they?
Yeah, because then when you're off the air, you have to take one of them out and keep one of them in. Because they're kind of a process to put in.
Computer's locking up.
It's not like my helmet had a speaker and noise canceling
Yeah.
built into it. Now they don't do that anymore. They said the new rules are you have to have the inner ear things which hook into a wire into the helmet.
Yeah, because if the helmet would fail, they want the sound to stay with the person, not the helmet.
Crazy.
Be careful fucking with me too much, Dan. I'll come back at you. 3 times harder than you came at me, bro. My ears are clean.
You
Try and be funny on the air.
Man, what? We got some high tense drama here.
Well, he said I've got disgusting ears, and I don't. And I know he does it as a rib to be funny, but
Hey, welcome to my world, where everybody's ribbing you.
yeah. Well, if my ears were dirty, I'd own it. But he didn't even look in my ear. He just went, oh.
Man, you're really sensitive about your ears, cousin.
Well, I'm sensitive about being, played like I don't have good hygiene. Yeah. That, just a little bit, Bubba.
Well, listen, Brian, you can't come back with me because nobody gets fucked with more than me.
No,
Period.
that's fine. But I'm saying if Dan wants to fuck around, I'll fuck around on the fuck around.
Ooh.
So I've got some.
Can you keep me out of the fuck around, please?
Well, it depends.
I'm
not blaming you for this.
I didn't make the analysis. I didn't make the fucking ear diagnosis.
If Dan wants to play, I'll play.
I'll be a sensitive little bitch, dude. I take all your shit.
You're the little.
I take all of the ribbing with a smile. I don't get mad for real, dude. Whatever, bro. Whatever, bro.
My ears are dirty.
Now you're gonna be all sensitive and shit.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying.
Hey, you guys chill out. For real.
Just saying.
I got 2 alpha fucking pit bulls in here. I got 2 fucking pit bulls in here. I'm the mama pit bull trying to fucking keep you guys.
The mama pit bull.
On one of my teats.
You're Miss Congeniality over there.
Gnawing on my teats, and I'm fucking trying to keep both of my puppies happy.
Oh my gosh.
Fuck, I need both my puppies. They're gonna end up killing each other. Damn.
I love this. Need to grow
What
back.
kind of outfit do we got going on today?
Standing up.
We've not done an outfit update.
She
Outfit
actually
update?
tried today.
I actually.
Can you come up here and take a picture for Insta?
I actually tried today.
Yeah, because she probably actually got ready.
Well, there's not many women that can pull off the high-waisted jeans, and she can.
She can. You know what?
She can.
Oh,
She can.
I was bumming out for 2 days in a row. I figured I needed to change.
And Dan was here, so.
Yep, that's really what it was. Tuesday, she didn't give any fucks. She's like, I can wear whatever I want. She wore a burlap sack yesterday.
Yeah.
You look great, Janessa.
And I was here at 6 o'clock.
You look great.
6 o'clock, yeah.
Oh, rolled in on Tuesday right at 6.
Oh yeah, 2 days in a row.
Curlers in your hair.
Not today, though. I was early.
She knew she'd catch Dan out in the parking lot.
Yep, exactly.
I said she knew she'd catch you out in the parking lot.
I was ready.
We're supposed to go for a ride before the show.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, I'm sure.
Yep.
Is that what you kids are calling it these days?
I've got rules in my car.
Go for a
You got
ride.
rules?
Yeah. No
Hold on, we
panties.
gotta talk about that. Hold on.
Yeah, I know. I have to take off my underwear every time I get in Dan's car.
I don't have any. I never wear any.
So she can ride.
Yeah.
Here we go. Ferrari rules.
Live from the OG Royalty Studios, it's the Bubba the Love Sponge Show. I got a new name for the show when Dan and Babyface are in here. 3 alphas and a whore. 3 alpha males and a porn star is exactly what we got here. If you
Perfect.
Well, then what's Brian?
Brian is really sensitive, is what Brian is.
Very sensitive.
Oh, we had. I don't know if you watch the show on YouTube, then you're privy to what we call a hot mic segment. So while we break for commercials for the 6 minutes and 20 seconds, then the mics stay hot on YouTube, and you can hear some somewhat uncensored candor from us. Did I say that right, candor?
Yes.
All right. And
Banter.
well, yeah.
Candor is being like
Open and honest.
open and honest, and actually giving more information if it's relevant.
Well, it
than
actually
being
did
asked.
work there.
That actually would make sense
Yeah.
there because I'm giving them more information there than I am on the terrestrial deal, right? Somewhat.
Sure.
Right.
So I may have really smartly used it, and I didn't even try to be smart about it. Maybe not. So anyway,
you're smart.
During the hot mic segment, you will hear some interesting banter amongst us. We, cuss and, what have you. And Brian threw a little bit of a fit because, obviously we're not on the air. And he tells Dan, bitch, if you want to start doing that, I'll go threefold on you. And then Dan calls him a little bitch and stops being so sensitive. And I actually had to step in here. Usually people are trying to calm me down. I'm not really good at calming others down. And I had to step in and start calming these two down because I want you guys to both, be part of the show because it makes for an interesting dynamic. And that was going south quickly. So can you guys just, get along?
We'll try.
And Brian, I think for real, you were mad there.
Well, my personal hygiene was being attacked, so
it
yeah.
was disgusting.
It was not.
It was being highlighted, the lack thereof.
You're full of
wax.
Know what?
You're full of wax.
Hold on now. Hold on. But both of you guys need to realize that nobody takes more shrapnel than me. 9 times out of 10, the joke's on me. It's been that way for all of these years, and welcome to my world. And you guys don't like it now, do you? It's tough.
Well, the personal hygiene part, I'm not a dirty person.
If that's all it was to me, if they'd only made fun of my personal hygiene over the years, I'd be over here whistling Dixie. I'd be like, man, they just say I got dirty ears. That's it.
And Bubba, although I'm
dumb, fat, married whores, gold digger, lost it all. Cincinnati, tracksuits, transvestites. I mean,
golden
everything.
Showers.
I like to get peed on, parachute cords. My testicles tied up. I mean, it's just.
You sound like a party, Bubba.
Yeah, it sounds like an awesome party.
Awesome. So, Brian, if the only thing that I'd got my balls busted on was I had a little earwax smear schmax, I'd be like,
if it was true, I would own it.
Do you think that I like to men in tracksuits in Cincinnati?
I don't know.
No, they wrote goddamn songs about it. I mean, there's
where did it come from? Did it come from some a-hole lying that your ears were dirty?
First of all, I wasn't lying.
It came
you
from
were
some.
lying. You didn't even look at it.
No, it came from some a-hole that just out of nowhere said Bubba was with a transvestite in a tracksuit in Cincinnati. That didn't happen.
No, he wasn't in a tracksuit.
I got him out of that tracksuit quick.
So Brian, I'm thinking that I hope that you don't take things too too seriously around here. You guys got to chill out a little bit.
Know me. When have I ever freaked out before? Never.
It was that was on the verge.
He said I was in, and the line has been drawn in the sand, and if he wants to step across it, then we'll see what happens. Just saying, tread lightly.
Bubba, I'm feeling so threatened.
You should be.
Dan, I will tell you this.
I take a ribbing, though, don't I? Without being upset.
Oh, people make fun of me over how rich I am, and over how good looking I am, and over my Ferrari. Get out of here.
Dan, you really don't take ribbons. You take ribbons on, again, how hot you are, what kind of car you got, what type of foreign country you traveled to this weekend, how fast you did on the Dr. Ferrari test at Sebring. You take cool ribs. That'd be like saying, oh, Bubba, guess what? I heard you had a 12-inch penis, you son of a bitch. Well,
why are you ribbing me over how big my hog is?
Yeah. I mean, Dan,
Bubba, also outside of the studio, when you guys rib me, I'm cool about it. I laugh as hard as anyone, and I don't get angry.
Oh, off the air, I'd be fine with it. But you're broadcasting like I'm dirty, and it's first of all, it's a bald-faced lie.
Dirty birdie.
You're a liar.
Is it bald face or bold face?
Bold.
You said bald face. I'd be like, oh, now lying doesn't have any hair?
Nope, bald lie.
Did you say bald face lie?
It's a bold face lie is the correct phrase. Maybe he can't hear really well because he's got all that wax.
Brian, are you really getting
he's getting all angry.
Brian.
Actually, Dan, you're wrong. It's bald-faced. So
it's bald-faced?
Eat it.
It's
a bald-faced lie?
Yeah.
No, it's
yes, it is. No,
lie.
sir. It's bald-faced lie. It's hyphenated. Yes. I know I was right.
Is it really bald-faced lie?
Every time, and this was every Thursday.
Brian is correct.
I am correct. Of course.
Bald-faced lie.
Of course.
Is it? Hold on.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, hold on.
Doesn't.
Here's an article. Is it a bald-faced lie or a bold-faced lie? And it says when a child with chocolate smeared on his face assures mom that he didn't steal, blah, blah, blah. Listen, I've heard bold-faced lie because you're saying it with a bold face.
You can say it, but bald-faced is appropriate.
Yes,
it is the correct usage of the word.
I think you can use either. Because I guarantee you, if you put bold-faced lie, that there's an explanation behind that too, wouldn't you think? Or is it bald-faced?
Bald-faced is the correct. It used to be bare-faced, and then it transitioned into bald-faced. Then in the late 20th century,
and your wife asks if you're hunting and a bear tore your face off. You're like, I wasn't hunting, honey. That's a bare-faced lie.
Then in the late 20th century, bold-faced lie started to be used as well. But bald-faced lie is correct, and it is actually the preferred usage of the word. So eat it.
Your big comeback to me was eat it.
That wasn't to you. That was to Dan.
You're telling me to eat it?
That was Dan. That was Dan eating it.
I'm eating it.
CVS now, Blitz. You're saying now CVS says that it's R&D and prescription drone delivery. So old grandma can go out back in the patio and they're going to bring her blood pressure medicine to you via drone. Aren't they going to have to get like with the FAA and like clear out all these like so-called flight?
Yes.
Like you're going to have to.
Not in New York City though, because of the buildings. The flight zone areas are much higher. They'll be okay to fly them in there. They won't have FAA issues.
So they'll just have to like keep them like building high.
But when you have a drone, you fly a drone. If you're within 3 miles of an airport, then the airport tower has to know about that drone.
Yeah,
that's the law.
It has to be registered, right?
And it has to be registered.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Florida law.
That's the federal law.
Yeah,
that's the federal law, not the Florida law. The federal law.
Yeah,
so they'll have transponders on them with ADSB out.
They're going to have everything registered. They're going to be carrying medication.
And the nice thing is that medications are lightweight. So a drone delivery of a package of meds, if you have 3 or 4 prescriptions, it may weigh a pound.
I think this is a desperation move, though, because Amazon about 3 years or 2 or 3 years ago purchased a company called Pill Packs, where each one of your daily pills is put into an individual pack, and they send you all of them for the month or 2 months or 3 months.
I love it.
Right to your house. And so these pharmaceutical companies are freaking out because they know Amazon's got the jump on them with this pill pack
So they have to have some
company.
kind of gimmick to get this thing to you even faster.
And PillPack was actually a decent company before Amazon even bought them.
Yeah, but Amazon had now think about all the information Amazon's going to have about you. They listen to everything you say.
Yes.
They know everything you buy, and now they're going to know your medical conditions. Talk about targeted advertising and the ability to sell information about their clientele.
Have you guys watched?
And you buy stuff on outside of Amazon, the next day on Amazon, you get an email like, hey, look at these ideas that match what you bought outside of Amazon.
That's cookies.
That's the cookies, yes.
But
Janessa and I got it was it was like in July, maybe July or August. We watched something. Was it HBO called Hacked? Remember that?
Yes.
It was on HBO and it was called Hacked. And it's a documentary about a guy from New York.
Documentary about Dan being a hack.
That was worse. When you
give me a bat.
Like when you get a good rib in, you're gonna. Yeah, but when you do a cheese penis, then you get the Dollar General sound effect deal over there. Go ahead, the Mason Dixon Q Zoo morning deal. Give it to me, Janessa. When you're.
I did, right?
No, I was like, what? There you go.
Pew, pew, pew.
She completely missed the timing.
She needs to pew herself on that one.
Yeah.
She needs a pew or timing on the pew is what she's doing. There you go. So there was this guy out of New York, and he was trying to sue to find out what type of data these data harvesting place has. And he wanted the right to know where you get your data and how much of it do you have. And they threw him through the court system. And it talks about how Donald Trump spent $66 million on Facebook marketing. And it kind of gets into how the internet and social networking works and how much information
Are you
they
talking
have
about
on
the
you.
Great Hack?
That shows you.
Yes.
This is the Great Hack on Netflix. I saw that. I thought it was something different that you were talking about. But
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
That shows
Did you like
how
it?
smart the Trump campaign was, because geotargeting is just now becoming more popular, and he was using it 3 years ago
through Russia
specifically.
No, it was through Russia, and it was.
This is Russian crap again.
No,
you guys on this whole Russian. God forbid he keeps looking at it.
No, Cambridge
what
Analytica. You should watch this. Watch this documentary.
Danny,
God.
You should watch it.
Danny, you should watch. You know what, Dan?
I'll watch it between now and next show.
By the time you come in on Monday, you're right, Brian. It's Cambridge Analytica, right?
Yes.
And it really, kind of objectively kind of lays out what happened in the election, right?
Yep.
And how they geo-target you. And Brian, am I right? It started out with the guy trying to find out who gets this information and how much of it they have, right?
Yeah, he's a professor in
New York.
Yeah, and he's he knows what's being done, and he knew what was being done, and he wanted to see how his personal information was being used. So
who had it?
Yep, and how they were using it, and where they were distributing it.
And they threw him through the court system, and they threw him over to London, and they basically told him to pack sand. Did they not?
Well, he got some information out, right?
Not a lot.
Not a lot.
No, not a lot. And Donald Trump won the election. And what was the budget that Donald spent on geo-targeting? Like, Danny, they would...
we do that. I do it now.
Well, geo-targeting is different than what they were doing.
What they were doing what they were doing, Danny, is they were like, for instance, Michigan was a swing state, okay, and Michigan, Florida, Ohio, Wisconsin, the ones, Pennsylvania. They're the ones that determine the election, right? California always goes Democrat. New York goes Democrat.
It's the Florida and they call it the flyover states, those middle states, the Pennsylvania, Ohio's.
Yeah,
exactly.
it's usually in this particular time it was Michigan, Wisconsin, and Ohio with the big power
plays. Well,
plays.
that's the Rust Belt. The flyover states are like Kansas, Nebraska.
So anyway, Dan,
but all those are the ones. It's just the Democratic states seem to be the extreme coasts.
In particular, this was Michigan, if you remember, Brian. And they would go into Michigan, Dan, and they would see what particular counties, and they had Michigan as a map, were blue, and where the Trump needed, help in those particular counties that would sway the state. And so they would geo-target anti-Hillary ads, just bombard. Every time somebody opened up their Facebook, they got Hillary's a monster, Hillary's a monster.
What they did, they took it a step further. They created a psychological profile based upon hundreds of information points that they could get from somebody's online. Hold on, let me talk, Dan. Mm-hmm. Somebody's online data, and then they determined which of those people were easily influenced by propaganda, and then they flooded those individuals with
Facebook and all that,
with fake ads, with fake stories, and with propaganda. I mean,
Obama did the same thing.
Oh no, Dan, I'm not saying.
Dude, this is not a political issue. This is an overall moral right or wrong issue. Is whether or not this should be done.
I wish you would watch the documentary issue. Is all I care about.
Yeah, but you got to remember too, the documentary is very skewed to the left.
Okay, and the other thing is,
the facts are the facts, though.
But they don't show you all the facts.
But the facts are not the facts. We only get a portion of the facts, and some of the substantive facts are left out. Now, Obama did this, and it was called brilliant. Trump does this, and it's called sinister.
No, I'm saying it's sinister no matter who does it. The whataboutism needs to go. The whataboutism is what's wrong with our country.
Can I stop both of you? Whoever did it was called the winner.
That's true.
And look,
it
wasn't deemed illegal.
It shouldn't be.
And it should be. It should be, but it wasn't. It should be illegal, but it's not. And until it isn't, then you play by the rules until you change the rules.
Just like you could argue that it should be illegal for the president to profit or have a conflict of interest. But statutorily, the president, by statute in 1989, it was made law that the president does not have a conflict of interest, period. There is no conflict of interest for the president. The vice president can, but the president does not. The emolument clause does not apply to the president because it's been statutorily changed.
You cannot statutorily change the Constitution.
You guys are really
You're wrong.
You're
smart. Absolutely wrong.
You guys are really smart.
You cannot statutorily change the Constitution.
I got to take over my show again. I got to take back over my show. They're really smartening up my show to levels that I don't even understand. At the end of the day, I'm supposed to understand what's going on around here.
You're lost.
I had to turn these two jokers
They're
off.
talking about some kind of statue or something.
They're getting ready. I need to put 16-ounce gloves on these two guys before we go on the air. All right, you guys back?
I need a coffee.
Dan needs to retake constitutional law.
Anytime you guys start getting a little crazy, I'm giving you. That's like, come on, guys.
Only the first one gets you.
Hi, you're on the air. Woo! Oh, I think I probably need to reset my phone lines. Are you guys?
But they just ran away.
Are you guys okay?
Well, we're fine. I just love Constitutional Dan over
It's
here.
hot. It's hot
that
over
you
here.
can statutorily change the Constitution.
There's no conflict for the president. Read the law.
Yeah, I've read the Constitution. You should try it.
I have read it too.
You know who didn't? Trump didn't read it before he took office.
You know who doesn't know it very well either? Me. And last time I checked, I'm supposed to kind of know what's going on around here, and I'm up there, my mouth wide open. I got a thing of slobber.
The Bubba Radio Network continues after this.
Statute over Constitution.
No,
Get the
the
fuck
Congress
outta
said
here.
it. It's the
It
president's
doesn't matter what
father.
they said. The Constitution's the Constitution, Dan. You can't legislate around the Constitution.
Dan can.
They did.
Well, Dan would.
They exempted him. President's exempted.
I know why Dan loves Trump, because Trump does whatever the F he wants and doesn't ask for forgiveness.
That's
or
exactly why I'd be
permission or
president.
anything.
I'd be president just like Trump.
I know why you like him, because you're both the same type of narcissist ego.
No, it's just that we know that we're right and that you're wrong.
Yeah, like bald-faced lie.
Brian is just.
You two fuckers, god damn. The show is me fucking throwing a softball out and you two fucking going and tearing up that meat. And me coming back in.
They're like hyenas over here.
One big piece of beef to two dogs.
These breaks are just called rounds. You guys are
We'll take it down. We'll
Can I be
That'd be great.
You got a ring girl.
Great.
You guys both need a mouthpiece and a bottle of water.
Bobby, you get the end swell.
Cut me, Bubba. Cut me, Blitz.
You can have cut doctors.
I get Blitz, you get Caveman.
Oh my god.
That's funny.
That was cool.
You know me though. It's not about politics with me. It's about right or wrong. That's all. If Hillary's a criminal, lock her up. If Trump's a criminal, lock him up. They're all. And here's the newsflash: they're all fucking criminals.
But you can't look at them?
What do you mean? Can't look at them.
Trump's not allowed to look at potential crimes that maybe Biden or Hillary did in 16?
I think the way you
They spent 3 years looking at him for 16.
The way you go about it, there's a right way and a wrong way to go about it. I think you go the right way. You don't send Giuliani over there as a quasi-State Department, unauthorized by the U.S. government, unvetted and compromisable.
A lot of presidents have done that.
No.
A lot of presidents have done that. It's not the first time it's happened.
Dan, again, whataboutism? That's what you're all about. Well, other people have done it. It doesn't make it right, okay? Just because other people kill other people and get away with it doesn't make murder right. It's
established practices.
It's a wrong take. It's not an established practice. We have laws. When we
Tell me
eschew-
where it's illegal for him to send Giuliani.
He's not vetted.
Show me the law.
I will.
Are you guys fucking...
No, Dan's just a whataboutism. Other people have broken the law too, so that's just so annoying as an argument.
What about? Say it.
What about it? What about it? But.
We're hot night. Okay.
Till 10. Is that cool? Okay.
Good morning, Stuart Preston.
That looks like we never got to follow through the post on that deal, did we, Brian?
Oh, it's coming back. They got a delay in the case, and they're going to be sending me new dates.
Okay.
Come on.
Thank you,
Those
Blake.
headphones working?
Yeah, they
But
are.
I never reached out to them. They actually just emailed me yesterday.
Oh, okay.
And they said, well, give us dates. I'm like, no. I'm like, that's not how this is going to work. You come to me with dates that actually work for you guys, and then I'll go to him and say
Right.
what works. I'm not getting a list of 30 dates for you to get.
Right.
Trying to make me do their work for them.
Yeah, no, they will come.
Get out of here with that
Did
nonsense.
anybody watch Watchmen?
I've seen I've never seen an episode of it. Dan's writing love notes to Janessa again.
And he tosses it in the garbage.
Yeah, pull that.
Oh, and then I have to pick it up.
Read it. What does it say?
There's nothing in it. It was just I started writing a note and stopped.
You got busted.
Yep.
What does it say?
There's one word that I didn't write clearly.
She just went.
Meet me out back. It just says head with a question mark.
He's sending her dick sketches instead of.
Good morning, David Tiz.
Oh, I missed the trash.
Oh my God, another one. That's a good one. Wish you guys could see it.
I need a bigger piece of paper.
You're welcome.
No, it's about right.
If I'm drawing dick pics, I need larger paper.
That was just the first. That was just the first one.
You have to like put them together.
Why are you putting them together so weirdly?
Well, how else?
Because it bends to the left.
First it's all staggered, and this level of overlap he has is almost making it like he's not using multiple, but he's almost putting them on top of each other.
I want it nice and sturdy. I don't want it flimsy.
Nice and
You don't want a flaccid.
I don't want a flaccid picture. Exactly. I want to have some rigidity.
Live from the OG Royalty Studios, it's the Bubba the Love Sponge show. I think I like the dynamic with Brian the Babyface Matroni and Dr. Dan Diaco, who's also a lawyer, joining us a few days a week. It really takes a lot of the, hosting away from me. I can just throw it over to those two.
They take over the show.
Just throw a piece of steak in the middle of the ring, and they just go.
They're like hyenas.
Yeah, they just go crazy. And then I just come in there and break it up for for a little bit of a round relief. Janessa could be like a ring girl and be like, "No, we're getting ready to go."
Ding, ding.
We get all those numbers, have her walk around in a little bikini.
Yeah.
Each commercial break is around.
Hey, Caveman, could you send me just Martha Sagowski, like just a news story of her on the desk with George? Like, hi, it's Martha Sagowski tonight on the 10 o'clock news. I want Dan to see her. She's that. Okay. She is I think she's 50, Dan, and she's had like 5 kids.
Wow.
And she's like she's my go-to chick in Orlando. And I wanted you to look at Dan, some of the, because obviously she's really hot, and you're a plastic surgeon. So I was going to have you analyze it a little bit and see if you think she's as hot as I think.
Are you going to play the game, what did she have done? And Dan has to guess.
Oh, yes. That could be a new... Dan!
That's a good game.
That's a good one, Brian.
Did she...
Wow.
Now, see, can somebody throw Brian like a really big attaboy? Because that's pretty goddamn funny. Like, that's really good. What did they have done? Look at that. Dan, that's how much of a dick you are. This guy just threw you like a great...
Thank you. I think it's a great idea.
It's about me. Of course it's a good idea. It goes without saying. I don't need to acknowledge it. It's only a good idea because it's me.
It's obviously a good idea.
Now, Janessa, didn't you say that you and your boyfriend, Guido, are going out as for Grease?
Yes.
Like Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta?
Yes, I'm going to be Sandy and Danny, yes.
Did you see where...
She's got a boyfriend now?
No. That John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John are doing
it. Dan, that's a yes, by the way.
In Tampa. They're doing
They're coming to Tampa?
Yeah, if you guys would all shut up and you're like, all this. Yes, they're coming to Tampa in December for a special Grease sing-along deal.
Oh, I'm going.
And for $1,000.
Oh, no, I'm not.
No, hold on. Will everybody in the show please let me get the material out before you jump on me? Because you look stupid.
Please let him talk.
Yes, please. Tickets will probably be like, I don't know what they're going to be, $50, $60, but there's going to be $150,000 tickets sold, and that gets you within the first 2 rows, and then you get a meet and greet with Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta and get a picture and get to talk to him for a little bit, and then after the entire concert deal, everybody gets to stick around for a Q&A, and you can ask questions.
Ooh.
Now, Dan, you might be the only one that could afford $1,000 meet and greet. Would there be a meet and greet for anybody, not just Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta, but would there be any artist that anybody in this room or this building would pay $1,000 for, and that you couldn't use your status within the community, being Dr. Diaco or a big fancy lawyer like you or a porn star or a shock jock, and get comped like we always think we need to get comped?
Well,
but would there be anybody?
Strong Tree Creations, 1999. Ding, ding, ding. Round 3.
Now, is there
a couple things here? First of all, I saw Grease as a kid. My kids have watched the movie Grease literally 100 times. They know every word, every move to every song.
Grease Lightning.
They love that movie. And it was, if you look at it, it's the #1 musical movie of all time. It's one of the biggest movies ever made. And I actually met John Travolta several times because I did the movie The Punisher. I was a featured extra in The Punisher, and met John Travolta several times when he was making the movie. And he's a very, very, very nice guy. The thought of paying $1,000 to have my kids meet and greet him, I have no problem doing that. And I may end up doing that.
I don't think it's $1,000 for all. I think it's, $1,000 a head.
Yeah, I understand.
Might cost you 4 or 5 G's
He's
to roll
like,
up
yeah,
in
that's
there.
pocket change.
I could do that.
I don't know of anybody
I would not.
I don't really care to meet certain people because I've met a lot of really famous people over the years. Met a lot of athletes, and that doesn't really do much for me. The one time, Bubba, in 20 years, Bubba, that I asked you for a ticket to a concert, what was it?
Vanilla Ice?
No.
Cher.
I was trying to Cindy. Oh yeah, Cyndi Lauper. That's right. No, Elton John.
It was Boy George. No, it was Aerosmith because I wanted to meet Steve Tyler.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And you set me up with Lana. We went together and we did the meet and
I'm
greet
sure
in front.
you did.
Let's play
And it was
What Has
awesome.
He Had Done with Steven Tyler. Holy.
Oh yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. So I don't know of anybody that I would pay $1,000 for.
There's nobody I would.
Even when I had a lot of money, I don't know of anybody I'd pay $1,000 for.
It used to be Janessa, and now I get to sit next to her for free.
Yeah. and then I really found out what type of person she was, and the bitch had to pay me now.
Oh, thanks.
Wow. Ouch.
Wow.
I'm just kidding. She's have to take some shrapnel around here too. Janessa, is there anything? I mean, is
No.
there anything? Nobody you would.
No, not really, because I'm not like that.
All right, so some money not involved, Bubba. Who's the one person you've never met that you want to actually meet?
Brett Favre.
You never met him?
Never met him. And it's amazing because him and Dion are represented by the same agent, and there's been a couple times that I was supposed to nope, I've never met him, and I don't know. I could, I guess if I really made some phone calls, I could meet him, but I wanted to meet him in normal organic.
How about the rest of you guys? Who would you want to meet that you have never met?
Jeez.
George Clooney for me.
Dan, who's the one person?
I'm not really sure. I'll tell you the one person I met that really turned my opinion about him around was Peyton Manning.
Oh, he's a great guy.
He's a great guy. I did not like him at first, and then I sat down with he and I and Gruden at a Hooters in Indianapolis during one of the NFL combines and sat and drank and laughed with him for an hour. And he's just a great guy. I did not want to like him, and I ended up really liking him afterwards.
I heard Coach Gruden is absolutely straight money, like a guy's guy. Like it's like his persona of being is kind of like how he really is.
He is.
I'll tell you one thing: the scariest I've ever been in my life was at your wedding, and he was there. And we had some Buck Suck songs going on like we do. And so me and Jimmy Cleavis are hanging out, and all of a sudden here comes Chucky. And Dr. Dan's dad, Joe, introduced me to Coach Gruden. And Coach Gruden says, "Oh, I hear you on that radio, you little rascal." And I go, "Well, yeah." And he goes, "Oh, some of those songs, kind of stiff." And I was like, "Oh," he goes, and then he just kind of moved. He just kept going, and I was just like, "Oh my God, Dr. Joe, is he mad?" He goes like, "Oh no, he's like screwing with the people." He locked me up. Out of everybody I've ever done songs about, Gruden locked me up the most.
Yeah,
How about you, Brian? Who would you want to meet?
It wouldn't be for me, but for my mom, I would pay what I could afford for her to meet Paul McCartney. That's her end-all, be-all.
Dan, who's yours? I don't think you said.
I don't really have one. I'm not that type of...
And Blitz, you got anybody?
Probably Steve Wozniak.
Who's that?
He's the guy who actually invented the actual real Apple computer.
No, that's the security guard for Jerry Springer, isn't it?
Oh my God.
Oh, Jesus. Hold on.
I mean, so if you had to meet one person in the last 200 years, not Jesus, but someone else, like in the last 200 years, who would it be?
Yeah, not in the past 200 years, not Jesus.
But I don't. But people say
last 200 years, but not Jesus.
If I tell you who it was, I have a person. I have a person. But
Vince Lombardi.
No.
Mine's Ben Franklin.
If I tell you who it is,
it's Hitler.
It is.
I know.
It is.
Really?
And no, hold on. And
Can you tell me some of your secrets?
How'd you do it? How'd you control all these animals?
No, it would be Hitler. And I would say, Hitler, let's get high and see if we can talk you out of all this nonsense. You really are doing a lot of really uncool stuff. You can have your sliver of whatever you want to do and just tell these people you don't like to get the hell out. They'll leave, especially in lieu of that.
You also may want to whisper in his ear, don't attack Russia till the following spring.
Yeah. Don't go in the winter.
You got to run out of food.
There's a lot of things. I mean, but do you think if anybody tried to go to Hitler, like if any of us guys, and said, "Hit, can you just chill?" do you think that he would just literally shoot him right there?
Yeah, he was pretty insane.
Like, could nobody talk to him?
He thought the emoluments clause was phony.
No, what Hitler would do, he'd be like, "Hey," he's like, "That's a great idea," and then he'd go to his other guy and go, "Hey, get rid of this guy."
Yeah, get rid of him. He's gonna be a little mouthy on the backside. So this
With
is
those rulers, though, Bubba. Those massive dictators that are responsible for literally millions of deaths. The Mussolinis, the Stalins,
Slobodan
the Hitlers,
Milosevic's,
the early leaders
Clintons.
of the Clintons.
Clintons.
But they were so intolerant of dissent that they killed just at a whim. They had
Family members.
They had. They did.
Yeah.
They
isn't
didn't
that
care.
what Kim
They
Jong?
killed
Kim
everybody.
Jong-un
Isn't that what he does
Yep.
nowadays?
They don't care. They don't care.
But the way they do it is brutal. They'll feed you to a pack of wild dogs in a pit in Korea. There's something
I mean,
else.
you guys heard stories where, like, if you're at a gathering and Kim Jong-un walks in and you don't look like, remember the monkey that had the two symbols and it just absolutely went crazy? You know, the monkey that,
Yes.
if you don't act like an absolute just over the top, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen, he kills you. If you don't, or if you're not excited enough upon his entrance, I've heard you will get killed. Is that true?
Well, I'll tell you right now, I would be banging those cymbals like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
I would be like John Belushi doing backflips on the Blues Brothers. I'd try. You'd see the fattest guy doing backflips and everything. If it was
I'd pay
live.
$1,000 to see that.
Dan, could you teach me how to do a backflip?
I can't do a backflip.
You can't?
Nope.
Other than Ciroc, you think there's anybody that can do a backflip here?
My
Nope.
body won't even let me
I
think
bet
about
Stone Joy
doing one.
Logano can do it. Let's see him try.
No, I don't want to be
God, broken
responsible
neck.
when he paralyzes himself. Because Dan,
Yeah.
if you potatoed yourself, you could crack your spine or something. Could you
Or
not?
do a big head injury. Yes, absolutely. Bad thing to just practice.
Hi, who's this? Hello.
Hey, Peterborough Peter.
Hi, Peterborough. In fact, Dan, I think the only way to probably practice a backflip would be like on a trampoline, and that probably isn't
And
necessarily.
even
Still
have
could get hurt.
spotters or those tethers. You ever see those little belts with the little swivels on the sides?
Yeah, like that would fit me.
Harness.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to, like the ones they hoist engines out of trucks on. That's what I have to have, an engine hoist.
Chains.
Hi, Peterborough Pete.
Hey, I got a medical question for Dr. Dan, if he's still there.
I'm here.
Yeah. I want everybody to know, though, that like when Dan and Brian are in here on Mondays and Wednesdays, that it's not going to be a medical or legal deal. Like we're just flowing with how we flow.
Unless you've been in an accident, and then I'll take your call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can call us at
888-844 Hunter Law or 844 Ask Gina.
Yeah, or 4 8s and SOS firm, not sperm. Boy, that's
I'll keep it quick. A couple of weeks ago, Dan, I had a bit of a high blood pressure spike. I was scoring about 211 over 148.
That's scary.
Yeah.
That's really
And,
scary.
Dan, what's blood pressure? It's like that. Is that how much is in pressures in your veins?
Arteries.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And there's two numbers. The high number is when your heart's squeezing, and that's the higher systolic. And then the lower number is when your heart's relaxed, and that's the diastolic.
And so you
So
want to have
120 over 80 is like a
that's
a
what
pretty
mine
normal
is.
pressure.
That's
Yeah.
what mine is
That's a decent pressure, especially for
being a fat ass. Say it.
for all the stress
a guy
in your
his
life.
50s.
Having high cortisol.
I just had my blood. I was just at the doctor 2 weeks ago, and I was 118/78.
I think it's because you donate so much blood too. That helps you too.
I really do believe that.
Yep.
I really. I know Dan doesn't, but I really believe. I've had 5 gallons of my double red blood cells taken out of my body over the years. And Dan, I think that it makes your body rejuvenate fresh blood.
Do you get dizzy?
It makes sense, doesn't it, Dan?
Well, they've been bloodletting as a therapy for centuries, and there's got to be some benefits to that if they've been doing it for so long.
Doesn't blood, Dan, if it stays in your body, I don't know if it, like oil loses its, viscosity or loses its bloodiness, but brand new blood that your body only makes new blood when it needs to. And so making new blood has to be better than 50-year-old blood, don't you think?
Well, it's never 50-year-old blood. It's at most 120-day-old blood. Your red blood cells don't have a nucleus in them, and they are really just like zombies. They're living dead, and they last for about 3 to 4 months, about 120
Then what
days.
do they do?
They get broken up, your spleen eats them, and you make new blood from your bone marrow.
Oh, and then that goes my theory. Anyway, go ahead, Peter.
No, you're right, though. So imagine a 1-day-old red blood cell versus a 100-day-old red blood cell, which is more efficient? Probably the 1-day-old one. So
mine are all real lazy anyway. They all just lay around. Mine aren't really, my 1 day is about the same as my 90 day.
Plus, you've conditioned your body to constantly make new blood cells,
which was probably more efficient,
right?
Which maybe makes my
sense.
body a little bit better because it's making it do it.
Yes.
Anyway, Peterborough Pete, what type of medical issue that you have that I hijacked? Sorry about my blood.
Well, yeah. Whenever I was scoring 211 over 148, I was getting some crazy side effects. So I was getting, I had floaters in my vision, and I had blood in my semen. And so, yeah, at first it was just pinkish, but the second and third times
I got blood in my urine because I'm fighting a kidney stone right now. Oh,
you're all gross.
It was like I was shooting out red wine times number 2 and 3.
Oh, man.
Red.
It's kind of hot.
Let me
get a glass.
There's some bitches that are into that.
Let me get a glass.
There's some
It was
vamp
terrifying.
bitches that are into that.
Well, that's what I was worried about, is what if this doesn't go away and I'm with a girl and, it's like the scene out of The Shining where the blood's coming down.
Well,
get it on camera.
First of all, the risk
Put
of
it
a
on
high blood
YouTube.
pressure.
Make some money on it.
The risk of a high blood pressure acutely is a stroke. Long term, it kills your kidneys. So you have to treat it.
Yeah, so the first thing I did when that happened, it happened in the morning. Bubba was on the air. I called Bubba and I told him, and then I went to the hospital. And up here in Canada, it's free to go to the hospital. So I went, and they gave me some blood pressure meds.
How long did you wait, Peterborough Peter?
You know what? I went in at 9, and I was in there by 9:45.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty remarkable.
It's pretty standard actually.
Except
in Canada.
if you went to an American emergency room with a blood pressure of 220, they take you in about 30 seconds.
Because they're worried about getting sued.
And get a
They
stroke.
gave me some meds. They gave me just like water pills to make me urinate more. And that I haven't been ejaculating blood since then. But I was wondering, like, what else? They were saying I should get on more than just those water pills. What else do you think, Dr. Dan?
Well, usually with a high blood pressure, a diuretic like Lasix or hydrochlorothiazide is helpful if you're holding a lot of water. But long-term treatment of a blood pressure is usually with like a beta blocker or an ACE inhibitor, like a tenolol or labetalol or captopril or lisinopril. Those things usually treat blood pressure on a long-term basis.
Okay, now is it common, to, like as a side effect of high blood pressure, to be ejaculating pure red blood?
Oh, I doubt that you were ejaculating pure, thick ropes of
Oh my God.
red blood. But still, that's
Are you
unusual.
a demon?
Yeah,
ropes of red wine. Ropes of red wine.
I don't want to hear this.
Yeah,
call.
Maybe-
Can we go back to
And
Martha
hold on,
Sugalis?
hold on, Dan. He's pretty young too. How old are you, Peter?
35? 30?
30. Yeah,
my
you're
God.
gonna die.
You will die young.
Yeah.
How much do you weigh?
I'm about 6'2", 300.
Yeah, well, the bottom line is
So
that
you're big, but not
that
gigantic.
beautiful Canadian health system has been able to not diagnose what you got. Now you're ejaculating red wine, my friend. Welcome to Canada.
6'2".
Stone Joe Logano asked me for a picture of it. I sent a picture of Stone Joe Logano.
And Jack Trudeau won again, did he not?
Yeah,
Justin,
blackface wearing liberal, the racist liberal blackface wearing Trudeau won again.
Yeah, well, there you go. You guys voted him
he
in.
only-
We didn't.
He only won
Our
with
president
33%
wears
of the
orange
vote, though.
face. Our president wears
How
orange
much?
face.
Oompa Loompa.
Our president,
Trudeau
has a beehive for a haircut and an orange for a face.
Looks just
Trudeau
like
only got
Oompa Loompa.
33% of the vote, though.
Who cares? Winner Schminner. It's a Trudeau for 4 more.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and you guys are all tore up about it. And you know what? You're ejaculating blood. You need to go back to the doctor immediately.
Yeah, well, it stopped. So it happened twice, and then it stopped after I got on those diuretics, Dr. Dan. So my blood pressure's going down. Now I'm getting in scores of about 170, and now coming down to 160.
That's still pretty high.
Again, if a 30-year-old in America with a blood pressure of 170 would still go to the emergency room.
Start working out and lose weight. There you go.
And Dan, would you get on some blood pressure medicine maybe?
Yeah, and also what Brian is saying is accurate. You know, our tolerance of what a big guy is in this building is a little different than the rest of the world. 6'2", 300, too big.
Morbidly obese. Not even obese. You're morbidly obese.
Yeah, like me. I'm morbidly obese.
Yes.
But I'm probably the sexiest morbidly obese person in the world.
Without doubt.
I agree. 100%. Would you agree, Janessa?
Yes, I agree.
Yes, we all agree.
I could be Mr.
He beats me on some sit-ups and ab stuff. I've never even seen in my life.
I do got some strength. Underneath that fat, there's some strength.
You only have to go
have
3
some
inches
strength.
to complete the sit-up.
I'm Mr. Morbidly obese. Like I'm like that Mr. Universe, Mr. America. I'm Mr. Morbidly obese. I'm just saying.
You do have some endurance.
Stop drinking all that bagged milk. Lower your cholesterol. Work out and lose weight. And
There you
stop
go.
eating red meat.
And he's not
you'll
even
be fine.
and he's not even a doctor. And you can continue to eat red meat if you work out.
The red
And stop
meat's-
using
I think,
that Q-tip.
By the way, a study came out recently that said that eating red meat is not as bad as everyone said it was.
It's,
I eat that.
it
Everything
was
is in
released by the
moderation.
American Cattle Ranchers.
Pete, good talking to you, man. Thanks.
It also depends on the cut of meat and the type of meat.
Moderation
Yeah, you want
is
lean-
everything.
No, I go the
lean.
fattest hamburger available.
Like the prime rib, like the fatty prime
I go to
rib.
Publix. I'm like, why am I going to buy this, organically green?
Yeah, why would I buy the
wise-
really good beef when I
The
can buy a tube of
grass-fed.
this cheap crap?
I can buy that literally. It's called Tubo meat.
It says Bubba Burger right on it.
Yeah.
It's from me.
I love
It
those
says-
Bubba burgers. They're
it says
just they're
two-
so good, but
Yeah, I
disgusting.
heard you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When's the last time you ate a Bubba burger?
She likes the Bubba hot dogs better than the burgers.
She likes the
They have a
Bubba.
Bubba hot
She likes the
dog?
Bubba brats, is what she
The
likes.
Bubba brats.
All right. So Dan, I want to say everybody in Orlando to know that this is. I am not saying this in a bad way. I am a huge fan of Martha Sagowski. I really am. Like she's my hot cougar go-to chick, and I have a world-renowned plastic surgeon now that's on the show a couple days a week. And his nemesis, the attorney, Brian Matrodi, has come up with a new contest helping this little guy out and saying, you know what?
This little guy.
Helping his friend out, Dan's brilliant, but he's not really good on the creative process. Dan's more of an executor. Brian's more of a planner and a creator. Would you guys not agree on that?
That's why they make a good team.
I would. Dan would vehemently disagree.
Oh, I'll tell you, I'm planning. I can plan better
I
than
can
anybody.
plan just as well as he
I
does.
won a planning contest back in Duke one year. I won a planning contest.
I was a part of the planning day.
I was on the plan team. Did you know I was on the goddamn plan team? Do you know I was valedictorian of the plan team?
Planning and executing.
Did you know I drive a Ferrari to my plan meetings? Just telling you that right now. So Martha Sagowski is on Channel 9, of course, in Orlando. And Dan, I want to play a little footage of Martha. And Blitz, I think if maybe somebody can look her up. I think she's like 50.
She's 49.
She's 49, Dan. And she had triplets most recently, 3 at once.
Oh my God.
And she has a couple like college age kids too.
So I think she has 5, maybe 6 kids. And Dan, I mean, this chick really, really has held up. I want you to look here. Oh, hold on. Of course, I don't have the.
To nowhere in summer. Now at 5, 9 investigates a so-called road to nowhere in.
Now, Dan, 50.
She looks great.
5 or 6 kids.
With high def, she looks great.
Seminole County. Work has begun on that road, which will connect 1790.
Now, Dan, what has Martha had done? Dun, 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 dun,
Well, I can
it's
tell
a
you-
new game.
I can tell you.
Sweeping the nation. What has a person had done? Starring Dr. Dan Diaco.
So let's start low and work our way up.
Oh,
All right, Jugs.
Breast
And no,
dog.
obviously,
Clearly,
Diana's guessing.
labia.
Clearly, she clearly had labiaplasty.
Hold on, Blitz has to throw in a disclaimer here.
Well, I just said obviously Dan is guessing. He doesn't know this.
Yeah,
No.
we're not trying to break
Yeah.
any HIPAA violations or any.
No,
we're-
no.
This is pure speculation, right, Dan?
Pure speculation.
Hyperbole?
This
Would
is
it be a hyperbole deal?
likely? And this is for entertainment purposes only.
Yes, there you go. And it's hot news, is it not?
Hot.
I'm going to throw that part in there too.
It is literally hot news.
To
I mean, Dan, for 50, 6 kids.
She looks great.
I mean, She might be Mrs. 56 kids.
Exactly.
In the
That's
world.
a small pageant, man.
Yeah.
Hey, think about it though, Danny.
50/60.
Think about this. If you had Miss 50 with 6 kids contest, this woman might be
the only person to enter
all world.
I mean, this woman might be the most beautiful woman
She went
in
hands
the
down.
world.
With 6 kids and 50.
In the world.
She
We
could
first
be.
told you about the $5 million project.
So, Dan, what has Martha had done?
So she's obviously had a breast augmentation.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's just work up to her neck.
All right. She's had a neck job?
She's had something to her neck. There's no way a 50-year-old has that tight of a jawline.
She does look great, though.
She looks really
Now, are
good.
you talking about neck or jawline? What are we talking about here?
They're related. They're related.
All
And so
right.
her neck is nice and smooth. She doesn't have any platysmal bands, which are those little lines that come down on your neck.
Right.
Her jawline from the jowling to the chin is a nice, smooth transition.
Perfect.
So she may have had a little fat grafting between her chin and her cheek.
All right.
She had her cheeks tightened. There's no question she's had volume in her cheeks.
Mm-hmm.
Look how big her cheekbones
those
are.
lips.
Project back in
and her
Those
lips.
lips. Oh, my
she's
God.
had Botox.
Dan, the problem is
I just got to try to find a different angle.
Esslinger.
All right, Dan,
Do you
here
get
we
a
go.
close-up of her?
I cannot. I mean, I don't think that they get any closer than this. I think that's by design.
her way already has 3.
And listen, I don't want anybody to think that I'm trying to be ugly here
Upper lids.
because I think this woman is absolutely beautiful. So I don't want anybody to think that I'm trying to be a smart ass
And
here.
you've been saying that for a long time.
I've been saying that before I had a plastic surgeon in here. So, Dan, you're saying maybe a lid job?
I think lids, cheeks, neck, lips, Botox. She may have even had something done to her nose.
And Dan, I tell
I
you,
need to
man,
see her nose. 'cause look
I
how
was
pinched it is.
thinking there was a nose job,
I
but
think so.
It had to
that's
be.
older. That's not
it's
fresh.
a little thin. It's a thin
Yeah.
to not. But Danny, on the other hand, as much as she's had done, I know that you're secure enough in your skin to say when you see good work.
Yeah, no,
and
she
that
looks good.
I mean, whomever did it also did a great job.
And another thing, though, is if we start with a pretty girl, it's easy to make her look pretty again.
Right, like it's not hard to make Janessa look good, and when 3 years from now when she gets a little older.
Right.
Whereas me,
but
whoa.
when you have an old patient that was never attractive and you do a facelift or something on them, they're still not pretty.
Right.
They look younger.
You're polishing a turd.
It's like repaint. It's like
Lipstick on a pig.
Like you're repainting a smart car, right?
Exactly. You gotta put a gold wrap on a smart car.
Yeah. Can I tell you I drive a smart car?
Is from 1792 within a quarter
Man,
month.
she is beautiful, is she not, Dan? So, Dan, let me ask you a
And she's
question.
got fake hair. She's got fake hair. Look at that dead hair
That's
underneath
not
her real
fake.
hair. Oh, she's got weave in. Look at the 2 different colors. See the
Yeah.
stuff on the top?
Yeah,
and
it
stuff on the
definitely
bottom?
looks like there's some
something
miscolored
sewn in.
extensions
Dan,
going on there.
can you give me a retail value on it? Let's go ahead and let me get my calculator here. There's probably some 50-year-olds that'd be like, oh my God, how much would that cost? And then Dan, we can throw out. So Dan, you start with the breasts, and she's probably got the gummies, which are the
Okay, yeah,
$8.
$2,000. That'd be $8,000 for the whole package.
That's what I'm saying. 8 G's for the boobs.
Okay.
Okay, then you go to the upper neck deal.
The upper neck, if she had a facelift, that could be 15.
Is it? Well, does she? It looks like she's got a $15,000 facelift. Does
Yep,
it not?
yep.
That doesn't look like a $7,500 facelift to me.
Nope, looks like a $15,000
All right, so we'll put a
facelift.
15G facelift. Okay.
She's got.
How about the lid? How about the
she's
lid?
Between the lids, probably 3,000.
3 for the lids. Okay. How about the lips?
Okay, the volume in the lips and the cheeks,
Which are impeccable, by the way.
probably 3,000 to 4,000.
And that's per copy per year, right? You've got to get those re-up.
Cheeks are every 2 years. The lips are every year.
All right, so we got the lips. They're at 4 Gs. Now, Botox, yearly Botox is what's
Yearly,
that?
every 3 months.
What is that? 600
600 a quarter.
So 2,500 for a year.
25 for the bow. Okay, Danny, what else we got?
We got the hair weave.
And the hair weave.
How much are those, Janessa?
Janessa, like really,
I don't know.
really.
I don't have hair. I never
You've
put
never
hair.
had
on.
it?
Don't you have friends that have it?
But like really, really,
No.
really, really, the most expensive hair weaves known to
Probably
man.
like.
$5,000.
No.
I mean,
it's less.
I have friends that has the hair clips,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
like permanent, but if good ones can go for about $500 to $600.
I was gonna say $500.
All right,
and
so
even
a
if she
good
had
weave,
them put in.
she's got $1,500 worth of fake hair on that.
You think so?
No,
Yeah.
not with that discoloration.
All right, so that's
that's
$50.
bargain
You
fake
think
hair.
she bought off the rack?
That's bargain
that's
fake
not
You
off
think
the
she
rack.
bought it
That's
on
custom.
like Amazon?
No, that's custom. That's somebody comes to your house and
That's
gives you a
either
mixed
that's
lettuce.
either the world's worst dye job ever, or that's some cheap.
No, she's
fake
going
hair.
for the two-tone look. That's called the
Nah.
honeydew.
She's got two-tone at the top and two-tone at the
That's
bottom.
that's
and
accidental.
Two different two-tones.
No.
That's not a true ombre.
All right, I got her at 1,500.
Yeah.
Okay, that's an
Say it,
ombre.
Brian.
That's an ombre.
That's not a true. That's a quadre.
That's not a
That's 4 different
balayage.
colors.
Is that a
Yeah.
budget? Is that
That's not a
Is that a
balayage.
That's
discount
not a
ombre?
balayage.
Balayage.
Is that a discount ombre?
Okay, so go down to 1,000 then.
All right, so I got her at 34 G's right now.
And that's 34 G's up front with a about what $6,000 a year renewal.
34 up front with a 6G a year kicker.
Yep.
And of course, we're just
by the way, I
guessing.
don't wanna
And we're
hear-
guessing.
We're
That's-
just
that's
guessing.
if.
This is all.
That's
If she hypothetically, if she were to have had those surgeries, this is about what they would have cost.
Yeah, we don't know, and she's.
Relax. You can't take anything they say seriously. It's just jokes. Jokes executed by savvy radio professionals. And usually, the joke's on them.
I mean, if you play that in a court of law, Brian, that would hold up if we disclaimed it with that, right?
100%.
I'd be like,
Not guilty.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, hold on, Miss Martha, you're suing Bubba for defamation, but he played that.
So he wouldn't be innocent. He would just
Doesn't
be not
mean you're
guilty.
innocent. You're just not guilty.
And until you're proven guilty, you are presumed innocent.
Not in Mark Ober's court of law, my
You're
friend.
presumed, not proven.
You're presumed.
The Bubba the Love Sponge.
Blitz, find me the Ober deal.
The Bubba the Love Sponge show practices healing through humor, consisting of hyperbolic statements and parody on the backside, including the use of disclaimers to cover their collective asses.
See, Brian, I got to think if during the MJ trial, if Greg Herring and Jay would have said, Your Honor, we'd like to enter into evidence after Bubba made fun of MJ every time, he hit the healing through humor and the jokes disclaimer every time.
You don't have to when it's a public figure.
I understand that, but would that further insulated us too? It'd be like even more absurd as to why these charges would stick if you disclaim it, saying that we're just having jokes.
Clearly, he knew that what he was saying was actionable.
The Bubba the Love Sponge show practices healing through humor, consisting of hyperbolic statements and parody on the backside, including the use of disclaimers to cover their collective asses.
In this case, you said your office deemed it a crime, but in fact, a jury determined that it wasn't a crime.
Now
correct?
pause it right there. Full stop.
Now, let
And
me
I will
ask you a
keep saying
question,
this
though.
every single time. A jury, his question, and Greg should have pressed him on this, a jury determined that it was not a crime. He gets all philosophical. No, I would have cut him off. I would have said it's a yes or no answer.
But within the legal community, were people talking about this answer, or
No.
just everybody afraid to?
No, nobody cared.
Well, we can get very philosophical.
Thanks for making me feel a lot less important. I really do.
Nobody cared
If you
about
choose
this.
to,
What I'm
the-
saying is that this quote
The
meant
jury
nothing.
verdict says not guilty.
Yes, sir.
It doesn't say innocent.
But isn't the whole law predicated on being innocent until they prove you guilty? So aren't you innocent?
Well, there's a presumption.
I know the jury verdict said there is no option ever on a jury verdict of innocent, or it's either guilty, or your only two options as a jury are guilty or not guilty, right?
Correct.
They never say, can you put the innocent kicker in there? Do they?
No.
You should be able to request it.
You should.
I mean, like, right?
Oh, fish on,
But hold
fish on a J,
but hold on.
$15.99.
Thank you. But I just want everybody to know, like, you walk into court, and the number one thing you're walking into, the whole thing's based on you're innocent till proven guilty. That's the number one rule of the game that you're playing, right?
Right.
So if they find you not guilty, your original right of innocence was never taken away from you. Correct?
Well, you're presumed innocent. You're not proven innocent.
But, okay, being presumed innocent, then you don't have to be ever proven innocent. You are innocent.
You are innocent until you are proven guilty.
You walk in that courtroom innocent until after the trial, then you can be found guilty. But you never, I mean, am I right or wrong? I'm not a lawyer, but you're supposed to be, you're walking in music is innocence, isn't it? You're innocent.
Yes.
The starting point is a
Innocent.
presumption of innocence.
So isn't that just like really, really not cool that you would say that on a guy that kicked your ass on a high-low hog deal?
Here's the perfect example of it. Casey Anthony, O.J. Simpson. You know, they're the example of not proven guilty to the beyond and to the exclusion of any reasonable doubt, but was O.J. Simpson innocent? Because in a civil time out. In a civil case, he was found to be culpable, negligent. So,
but mine didn't go civil.
I understand that.
Mine was a criminal deal.
But you could be not guilty and not be innocent. They're not one and the same. Just because you're you're found not guilty doesn't mean that you're innocent. I mean,
in the court's law, in the court's eyes, you are.
No, in the criminal justice system's eyes, you're not found innocent. You're just not guilty.
Hold on. And in the criminal justice eyes, you just said in the criminal justice eyes, you are correct.
You're found not guilty.
And if the only court you're tried in is the criminal justice law, and you're not tried on any other court, then you are innocent. Until you're tried civilly.
Until they prove you to be guilty, you are innocent.
Yes, on the criminal. And I was I was tried in a criminal setting, was I not? This was not a civil setting. This was a criminal setting, correct?
We're getting way too philosophical here.
Not to get too
In this case, you said your office deemed it a crime, but in fact, a jury determined that it wasn't a crime.
And that's correct. What he just said there is absolute. What Greg Herring, that statement is 100. All he can say, the correct answer is correct. Yes, a jury did determine that it was not a crime. Nobody said, he didn't say a jury found him innocent. So that's where, if I was Greg Herring, again, I would have pressed him on that issue.
Well, we can get very philosophical if you choose to. The jury verdict says not guilty.
Yes, sir.
It doesn't say innocent.
Oh, I would have had a whole series of questions thereafter.
Greg was so calm during that. And
I was so
might have
mad.
handled that differently, too.
Your brother had to calm me down. Your brother had to pop like 5 Xanaxes in my mouth.
Yeah, but, you know,
and they called Dan up. They called Dan up to get the Dexter dart because they were fixing to have to Dexter dart me. they had Dan leaving his office with the goddamn Dexter dart because I had fired Greg at that point.
We can't tell that it bothered you, Bubba, as we sit here 6 years later.
No, not at all.
Hello, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, how's it going, Bubba?
Good.
This is Drew.
Hi, Drew. Dr. Diaco, Babyface, sitting in with me today. We're going to do those every Monday and Wednesdays, schedule permitting. What do you got for me?
Yeah, Babyface helped me out a lot the other day when I was doing the workman's comp thing. And I really appreciate it. I called him a couple times, and he told me exactly what I needed to do.
Are you doing good? You don't need to talk. You don't need to talk about your situation, but are you set up? You're okay?
Oh, I'm all good. As soon as I said I'd talk to you, and I told them about it, they were like, "You're good."
All right, good. I'm glad to hear it, Drew. And if you have any other questions through the process, please give me a call.
All right, Drew.
Yeah, no problem.
See you later.
Also,
Bye. Great, thanks. Busy. You've already talked to Brian.
He's the best caller of the day.
Well, listen, I'm behind.
It's all about you, isn't it, Brian? It's about you. It's good.
We're behind on commercials, numbnuts.
Oh, it's round 4.
Yeah,
and we're going to stop and start the stream.
Oh, okay, good. So if I do it now, you'll right part.
Yep.
The Bubba Radio Network returns after this.